you've come here to convene with Annam, the Allfather, the Oracle, in which giants can visit him and ask questions and receive answers. You guys had found that the key to opening the portal to enter the Oracle was Thrim's axe that had been taken off of the Frost Giant statue and deposited in one of the side rooms of the Eye of the Allfather. You managed to get to the Oracle by having Harshnag touch the axe on the correct ice rune, thus opening the portal. There you met Egeron, the dead cloud giant who was slain by his father after getting into an argument about who should be the new leader of the giants. And Annam told you that the giants have disappointed him. His children have failed him of late, and that he does not believe that they are now worthy of leadership. Also, the Storm Giant King seems to have been stood down from his position. The Oracle told you all that he'll now... he's been, monitoring small folk for the last 30 years. Sorry, 30,000 years. A little bit of a difference there. And
it's a very recent development.
He watched the rise and fall of his children, the different giants, and then the rise of humanoid small folk. And he believes that humanoids are taking this world into a better direction, and has kind of entrusted you with proving yourselves first to try and fix the ordering. He told you that as the giants fell from grace, he bestowed upon them these special magical runes infused with giant magic, and he imparted these to his most trusted of his children, like leader of giant clans, and that he wants them back. He does not believe that they are responsible enough to wield such power, and told you if you want to prove yourselves to Annam, you'll need to bring him 5 runes. You'll need to recover 5 runes from the giants, and you've actually got 3: the Ven rune, the Ice rune, and the Ild rune. Egeron, the slain cloud giant, also told you that his father had slain him, and he wants some revenge. And you've basically been given a task to recover these runes from the giants. You were able to ask him 3 questions, the Oracle, and that you did. You asked him, where is Blagothicus, Egeron's father? And the Oracle answered, his shadow falls on Parnast. You also asked, where are all the runes? This is a very broad question, but Annam only replied to answer where one of the runes would be. He said, travel west over mountains to the Sea of Moving Ice. There among the glaciers you'll find Svardborg, the burg of the Frost Giant Jarl. The rune you seek rests there. And also, what must be done to fix the ordering? Annam said, find a magic conch of the Storm Giant King Hecaton, use it to visit Hecaton's court, and root out the evil brewing therein. With that, you've set out to continue on your quest. Harshnag has decided to remain in the Eye of the Allfather and protect the temple and take a bit of a nap because he's been working so hard. The end of the session with you guys exiting the Eye of the Allfather, and you'd finally given up on trying to keep these 2 barbarians hostage. They tried to escape like 3 times and it resulted in them being killed. As you exit the Eye of the Allfather, it's very windy. It's actually light now though. Although it's daytime, there's a lot of fog, and it's lightly snowing. It's pretty windy, so everything is lightly obscured, and visibility is a couple of 100 feet at best, and then your vision's blotted out by a cloud. You're quite high as well, up in the spine of the world, like several thousand feet in elevation. As you've entered exited the Eye of the All-Father and spilled out onto the causeway, appearing before you, seemingly teleporting into existence 20, 30, 40 feet away from you, is a red dragon. He appears in front of you, and you take a look at this majestic creature. For starters, the dragon is gigantic. He's kind of hunched over, and he's on all fours, but even then his head rises to a height of at least 20 feet. You can see his scales. They catch little slithers of bright light that pierce through the cloud, and they don't glisten. They're dull. They're very, very dull, his scales. He has these giant horns that jut out from the top of his head and sweep backwards along his spinal frill. And upon his arrival, the strong odor of sulfur and pumice permeates the air. He has a big snout, and as he breathes, it just cuts straight through the frigid, cold eminence around him. Just a big vent of smoke pours out of his nostrils, and his eyes, they're very dull looking. They look like these deep, molten orbs of some sort of metal of a dark reddish hue. And his wings, they're tucked behind his back, but each wing looks at least 40 feet long. This dragon he is a very old dragon. In fact, he looks truly ancient. He looks more ancient than what you could have ever imagined as well. You can see cracks in his scales. And he has this deep black tint along the trailing edges of his wings as well. They're pretty much black, being burned out by fire. He snorts.
Do not worry, little ones.
As he speaks in common, his voice just washes over you.
I'm not here to harm you.
That's good news.
Reassuring, yes.
That's a relief.
I am here to help you.
Huh?
How so?
On your knees, all of you. How dare you speak to me in this manner? Do you truly think you are equal to me? Bow before the mighty claw.
No offense
I'll kneel.
intended, oh mighty claw.
Alright, I'm going to go around and see how everyone presents themselves to this red dragon. I'll start off with Norin.
Yeah, Norin is not an idiot. He's brave, but not an idiot, so he'll take a knee. Kind of not look directly at the dragon.
And then,
I will say in Draconic, my apologies, Ancient One, and Neil.
Lily.
I don't say anything, but I get right down on my knees.
Rend.
Yeah, I'll slowly take a knee in so everybody else is.
Thomas.
Yeah, I dropped to both knees and say, my apologies, mighty. No offense intended.
And Roderick. Oh, Roderick doesn't say he's bending the knee, so...
He gets eaten.
He's short enough, it looks like he's kneeling anyway.
No, I'm standing behind him. That's not fair. I whack behind his kneecaps. You know that trick? Just get him to fucking kneel.
Roderick ate some strange foods last night, so he's catching up to you guys. He's over back with Harshnag at the moment. He's trying to find a
Latrine.
giant toilet.
For his giant shit.
Yeah,
Makes perfect sense. We've all been there.
it's gonna be like a house or something in comparison.
This is the correct way to bow to your superior. I am your king. You are my loyal subjects. You'll do as I ask you, or I will have no use for you. Is this understood?
Fully
Yes, fully.
understood.
Yes.
And as he appears as well, you notice this massive red tarp just on the ground. It's huge as well. It's just appeared with him. And it actually looks like tucked under his wings there are some people. And then suddenly the dragon begins casting a spell. And just like that, this little vortex of fire wraps around the dragon and he's whisked away. Teleports. And a ton of robed, masked humanoids spill out onto the ground. They're laying on the causeway, struggling for breath. Like they're being suffocated underneath the dragon's wings for that entire time.
I feel like that spell could use a little clarification.
Jump to my feet.
Hello?
They all quickly jump to their feet, and one of them actually steps forward. They all wear black robes, and they have this six-pronged grey mask. They all wear the exact same costume, and it's hard to differentiate between them all. It's a uniform of some sort. The mask has this vague draconic resemblance, and each one has a scimitar hung by their side, unsheathed, and the blade of the scimitar almost is bent to resemble, at the top of the scimitar is bent to resemble a dragon's claw.
My name is Delsaphine. We come to you on behalf of Cloth, the great dragon of the north. Cloth offers you this balloon and our services as a gift, so that you may cross his vast dominion while avoiding many perils of the land below. War against the giants is inevitable, but the great dragon commands you forge ahead and face your destiny. The ordering of the giants is broken, and they are not united. Slay their leaders, and you may yet prevail. If you succeed in quelling the giant threat, the almighty Cloth bids you come to his hidden vale, so that he can reward your bravery. Is that right? Yes, I think that's what he... I think that's exactly right, what he told you to say. Yes.
I think
Very good,
we get the gist
Delsaphine.
of it.
This is Nizroth, Trout, Luz, Oriscus, Perella, Zalthia, and Brassic.
And you were all to escort us?
Yes, we are all members of the Cult of the Dragon.
I'm gonna like pick up the edge of the balloon. Look underneath. I mean, is it
You lift it up, there's nothing underneath. It's
just a balloon?
yeah, it's
So like a magic
a flat balloon. It's made of some very, very hard material. It's not like a plastic, it's like an actual cotton or something like that. And it's stitched very finely, and the exterior actually almost resembles Red Dragon scales. This is a fine balloon that Cloth has gifted you from his veil. We are to take it to the airship, the one you are planning to commission, correct?
Yeah.
So this goes with that. Alright. Thank
Yes.
you, Cultist Day.
And also, we have the fuel for the vessel and tools required to repair it.
That's the one that's stuck in ice?
Yes, Cloth has been monitoring you. for a while.
How do we get it out of the ice?
We have all the necessary tools. And this. And he pulls out this, it looks like a jug of some description. And it's made of a black stone.
Gas.
It's got a chain and a runic symbol with a brass stopper on the top. A runic symbol on the side of the flask. This has your fuel trapped within it, a fire elemental. If I release it, it will obey my command. It will melt the ice away, and then we will trap it inside the furnace.
Well, that's
Fantastic.
Well,
Let's
do
go.
you have a air elemental as well?
No. We don't have an air elemental. The mighty Cloth has said that you are already going to get the meat. It is freezing here.
Unacceptable. Off with their heads.
Do you mind if we have this conversation out of the wind?
Well, we were just leaving, but I'm gonna start like rolling up the balloon in as tight a roll as possible.
I'll help because that's an impossible one person job.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've rolled up many times.
Alright. You guys work there, and all of these cultists are not wearing cold weather clothing. They're literally just wearing robes, and you can see them just absolutely freezing standing here. You roll up the balloon, and it weighs 50 pounds. It is very heavy.
I think Norn could carry it around.
Bag of holding, man.
Well, it'll fit in the bag of holding, right, Seb?
Yeah, when it's rolled up, you get it pretty tight. It's just like a few feet on the side.
It takes a few tries though, because the first few times you do it, you couldn't get it small enough.
It's
like a sleeping bag.
Well, it's like
Only
a
the 10.
Unless you have lots of experience, then you're a pro.
So we are to escort you to the ship and repair it for you, and then we are to fly the ship for you as your crew.
So how do you suggest we travel through this mountain range with your current clothing?
Very quickly, please.
Oh wait, aren't there a lot of barbarians in there that are no longer in need of their clothing?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Well, also, I think we had to
Let's
make a
get
pit
you-
stop, didn't we?
Let's get
Yeah.
them properly dressed inside.
We cannot doff our robes. These
can
are the
just
sign
add
of our
some-
devotion to the cult of the dragon.
Layers. It's called layers. Come on.
We are to do as you command.
This is a good. We command you to put more clothes on. Your speech is annoying.
Like a
That's so
fire,
backwards.
give them a hot meal, and rest an hour before we head down. Please.
Oh, we're gonna take a short rest? Is that what you're saying?
I want to attune to this thing. Someone else had something to attune to too, didn't they?
I have no idea, but I'll take a short rest.
Well, what did we find? Let's start there. I think somebody found some armor, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't require attunement.
Oh yeah, it's the breastplate.
I think Ren, you took that, right?
Yep, I got it.
Was there a third thing, or was that it?
There was the item that I think Thomas is gonna take. The
You, the Pearl of Power. Right?
Oh!
oh yeah, you had the Pearl of Power. That's right.
The opal
I am so
gemstone.
Gotta move things around.
Thank you, Thomas, for reminding me.
Alright. You guys start taking all of the hides off of the barbarians, and you can tell that the cultists really do not enjoy wearing these bloodied hides, but they reluctantly put them on. However, there is not enough for all of them. Two of them are left without any sort of hides.
I imagine the blood's all frozen too.
Do we have anything in the party loot? Perhaps?
Let's take a look.
Can't even find it right now.
Will cold resistance protect me from the cold weather?
Yes.
And I'll give up my cold weather.
It's not just the cold you're fighting as well, it's like lack of oxygen.
Right. At least the cold part, I don't need the clothes for.
Yeah. Yeah, the cold part pretty much, and the clothes pretty much just negates the effects of the cold weather. It's just the constitution saves are for the lack of oxygen and pretty much, yeah, lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
At high altitudes, like, you know how you get like high altitude sickness. You know when you climb Mount Everest and you get high altitude sickness. I hate when that
Take a
happens.
short rest. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
first.
you guys can rest up. The cultists are still kind of freezing, and 2 of them are left without any clothing, and they are freezing.
But Diamond don't know what to do for him.
But
So
they don't
just-
complain.
Do you have continual flame?
Continual
it-
flame doesn't
was it-
actually let off any heat.
So it's more like continual LED.
Exactly.
Is it? Was it 2 of them minus the one I give my cold weather gear to, or 2?
Oh,
3
okay,
of
it's
them?
one of them then. It's just Perella. So,
That's cultist too.
yeah, she's not
Feel
dealing
better.
with the cold too well. But none of them complain. They seem just completely devout. As you're
Sure, we
resting,
can crew it with 6 cultists instead of 7.
yeah, they've also got each one's got a pack as well, backpack on, with just, you imagine their gear. So the Delphine just he tells you a few things. He makes a little bit of conversation as you guys are resting. So this is the giant temple. What's it called?
Pretty certain it's called Giant Temple.
Oh, okay. We've never been here before. Anyway,
Can't say that any longer.
yes. The ordning, it dictated the hierarchy of the giant society, but the giant gods, they have dissolved it, Claw says.
Not the giant.
I don't think it's like a full-blown dissolution. It's just the waters are muddy.
Aren't we taking out their leaders?
That is what Claw said. His word is true and final.
Of course, of course.
Perhaps we can teach you a thing or two about giants. You know, before the Ordning's dissolution, storm giants were at the top and hill giants were at the bottom. Did you know that?
That's so.
Still is.
I imagine it's because hill giants make a very good base.
No, there's no top and bottom anymore. Dissolution means fall apart.
Thank you. The word of the day is dissolution.
Yes, we know a lot. This
Apparently.
is our reward for being loyal and devout. Cloth gifts us with information that you peasants do not know.
Easy now.
Disappearance of Hecaton, the Storm Giant King, is what is causing the giants to misbehave. They're all trying to rise to the top of a new ordning. They're all trying to build their own empires. That's why there's lots of upheaval and stuff.
Is the ordning giant only, or can anyone get in on that?
Is it ordning giant only, Trout? I think so, Delphine. It's only giant only.
You said only twice.
It's to emphasize that it's
You all should be honored that Cloth would even consider you. And you should thank him 1,000 times. You should...
He asked us not to talk to him, so I've been thanking him my 1,000 times mentally.
You guys got on his bad side somehow, didn't you? That's why you're here.
No, we are favored. That's why we have the honor of doing his bidding.
Do the unfavored
Yes.
people get jackets?
Yeah, that was my next question. If you're so favored, why did you not send you with clothes
Those
to
that
withstand the cold?
we do what Cloth asks. We do not ask questions, and we do not complain, and we do not compromise. He has asked us to send you the message and bring you the balloon, thaw the airship and repair it and fly it for you. And that is what we'll do no matter the weather.
perfect.
All right, sounds good.
And you should be honored that he is going to offer you a reward if you can fix the ordning. He bid you to his hidden veil, a location even that we do not know.
What's the proper way to show that we feel honored?
Next time you see him, you should offer him many valuables. Treat him like the king he is.
That he was going to reward us.
We have a +1 bow we can give him.
What if we're supposed to offer him the reward that he gives us?
So you should. He's
So one, what is the
superior
reward?
to all of you. And us as well. We are just
Well,
peons. We are just clouds of dust in his wake.
Oh.
I can agree on that.
well, we all are on that.
Yes, you all are.
Interesting that he's asking dusts and peons to try to fix the ordning, though.
He probably is busy. He's got better things to do.
So how do we find this hidden veil if you don't know where it is?
It'll
Because,
probably reveal to us in time.
yeah, we'll know it when we know it.
Very well.
Anyway,
Good
we're not here to make
devotion.
friends with you. We're here to do the job. So let's get going.
All right.
We need to
Not
go
allowed.
Ron.
I'm just getting you guys warmed up. Let's go.
Lead on.
Is Kloss against friendship?
We don't know the way to the airship.
Then follow us. And
Well,
shut
don't
up.
we need to go back to tell Elron that the leader
Yeah,
is
don't
dead?
we have to? Yeah, do we have to go back to that? Barbarian.
I believe we can pick up our air elemental.
Oh,
Okay. Let's do
Cloth has this for you, for the air elemental. And he takes out another one of these iron flasks. You can
did
use
you
this
say
to
that's
trap
early?
your elemental inside.
Oh, the trap.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Once it is trapped, it will obey your command. But it can
Does it
only be used
require-
once. Use it carefully. After 1 hour, the elemental will escape your control.
Does this require skill or magic to use?
No. Simply stand near the elemental within 60 feet. Open the lid. And they'll be trapped inside the flask.
All right. Let's do it.
Oh, see, that's
So it's
it's where you've met. You can't like the NPCs because then they die.
What?
So we
Out of character.
control them for
Out
an
of
hour.
character.
We control them for an hour after we catch them, or when we start.
I think once we
After
let
you,
him go.
you catch it, it will
Your name is
remain in the flask indefinite. But once you remove the flask stopper and release it, It will be friendly to you and your companions for 1 hour.
So we have to put it inside whatever holds it in the ship.
That's pretty. 1 hour?
Well, we can just release it and tell it to go straight into the trap. The trap.
Yeah, I'm sure the
Where
ship
it'll
holds
stay,
it
so-
indefinitely.
But oh, so it'll stay in the container for longer than an hour. But once you release it, you only have an hour.
Yeah, this is a lesser iron flask,
Okay.
so it's not as powerful as a normal one, but this is what a normal iron flask does. But yeah, so you when you checked out the airship, you'd learn that there is like a furnace that you can trap a fire elemental in, and also a wind fan that you can trap an air elemental in, and both of those elementals need to power the airship. So they have
So we're just,
a fire elemental in their lesser iron flask, and they'll use that to defrost the ice around the ship. And then they've got a heap of backpacks, so you presume they've got nails and wood and whatever else they need. They're going to repair the ship, because obviously the ship's damaged. And then they're counting on you guys getting this air elemental yourselves. And you feel like Cloth is very glued onto what you guys have been doing. He must have been watching you guys somehow to know this in this much detail. Unless one of you is a spy.
Feels like we're getting watched a lot. It's Roderick, clearly.
Yeah, where is Roderick actually?
Yes.
How
this is-
convenient.
It is.
I'm gonna turn to the cultists as we leave.
His name is
just
Ensign
so-
1.
Just so we know, you guys can climb, right? There's gonna be a lot of climbing involved.
We have come prepared.
That's all we need to know. Sounds good.
We have our
We
hands.
can
We
lose
have
the
our
first
feet.
cliff.
We got Ensign number 1 through 8. Those are your names.
what color are their robes? Are they red?
Black. But you do see a glimpse of a red shirt underneath.
Why don't cultists ever add a little pizzazz to their outfits?
Alright, you guys head off the causeway, and you head back to the overlook, the overpass, where you've got this rope bridge that you could precariously cross, but it's going to add several days' journey to your trip. Or you can scale down this cliff, which is about 100 feet, a bit less than 100 feet. Well, 60 feet, we'll say. And that'll cut like a couple of days off your journey.
Let's do that.
Time to climb.
Alright. Yeah, it is absolutely freezing here as well. So, yeah, you're just hearing that wind just rip through your eardrums, and it furrows your robes and just cuts straight through to your bone. The cold does. It's quite kind of windy here. It's not a storm, but it's windy. It's not enough for like ranged weapon attacks to be at disadvantage or anything. But
Just out of curiosity, how many do we need to fly the ship or man the ship or whatever you want to call it? Of these cultists.
I don't know.
How many are required? I don't know. I'm asking.
They didn't tell you that. They didn't
Oh,
say
okay.
only 2 of us need to survive.
By the way, 4 of us are expendable.
Yeah.
So, do we like draw straws or play musical chairs? How do we pick the 4?
It's not how do we pick the 4, it's more if we lose any along the way. Do we worry about it or not? That's the question that we're
Let's
asking.
get a couple of ropes tied together, and then
And one of them just starts powering down the cliff face. This is nothing! He rolls off his sleeves and starts climbing straight down.
all right. Well, if you see something at the bottom, don't die. Anyway, let's do this safely and get some rope and rappel down. I feel like that is the better route.
I'll go first if you want.
It's fine by me.
I'll guidance myself.
I mean, your athletics is crazy.
Well, it's not crazy, but it's pretty decent.
Alright, you make a sleight of hand check to secure a rope. There's like 2 wooden posts driven into the ground here at the start of this rope ladder that you can use.
That's not very good.
Alright, then you tie up the rope and you start rappelling down. You get down 30 feet from the top of the cliff, and suddenly the rope, it unravels. You didn't tie a very good rope whatsoever. So then you can make a strength saving throw to just quickly use your hands and feet to just cling on to the surface of the cliff. Alright, easy. And
Thank God.
Rend or Norin or Lily, who's standing near the rope, can make a dexterity save to try and catch it before the rope falls down.
A save, you said?
Yeah. Ren's done it. He gets a 20.
Well, I
with his danger
ignore
sense.
all of my clicks.
Okay. Ren grabs it, and Lily, you grab Ren's hand.
Aw.
Spark
Is there a
slide.
moment? Is there a moment between them?
I don't know.
They look in each other's eyes.
All right.
Does a spark happen right now?
So
let go of
There's any
Fan and grab Lily.
The moment that you know.
Than pretty much made a knot that, like, when pressure is applied to it, it comes undone. It's like a self-undoing knot.
I was testing you guys to see if you're alert and on your feet.
Another cultist is going to be like, we don't need these ropes. We have the backing of cloth. Ah!
Yeah.
I knew
He
it.
starts climbing down, and he gets down about 20 feet, and then he just screams, ah!
Do I make it down before he dies, or
He smashes himself against the rocks at the bottom of the cliff.
All right.
Was he the one without cold weather clothes?
No.
One of them's gonna have it now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm gonna grab Lily's hand. I don't like the idea of climbing down this thing. And,
Hold on. Oh.
Oh, you grab Lily's hand. Is there another?
Oh,
is
shit.
there a love
I'm
triangle?
Drama.
she's mine, you bitches?
Norin's just up here like, hey, I can't
She
tie ropes
favors
very
elves,
well.
you fools.
Someone, Ren, can you tie ropes well?
Thomas and Lily, you guys dimension door down to the bottom.
Am I down yet or no? Can I
Uh,
climb down?
this is all happening simultaneously. You're halfway down at the moment, Than. You're like, yeah, about there. Same time as this guy. Alright, Thomas and Lily, you guys get down to the bottom. And Rend and Norin, what are you guys doing?
So how far high up are we?
60.
60 feet?
Yeah, there's plenty of
So that'd be
handholds
what?
and footholds, so you could just do it like, rock climbing style.
I mean, I would rather
Technically,
tie
I
the
could
rope at
rage and
least for
jump and
these
only take
guys.
half damage, right?
You could just jump if you want, Ren.
Nah, I'll try the athletic check.
I'm gonna try to tie the rope again for the for these guys up here.
Okay.
I already saw one of them fall to their deaths. So a sleight of hand to tie the rope.
Yeah. So you get down to about here, Ren. You're just grabbing onto the shells of rock with your hands and boots and taking it slowly down. Well, actually, you're doing it pretty quick. And you only need one
Tie the
check.
rope.
Yeah. Alright, Norin, you secure the rope nice and tight. And these cultists start lining up to rappel down. It's pretty easy to rappel down. Alright, as this is happening, we're actually going to roll initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Down the bottom, there are some Yetis waiting for you guys.
Revenge
They're
the Yeti.
curled up in balls, hunched over, with only their white furry backs exposed.
Thomas, I'd like to go back now.
They blend in with the snow, so they have advantage on this stealth check to surprise you guys.
Oh wow.
Alright, only
Sick.
if you have 14 or higher passive perception do you notice them. So they are 4 regular-sized Yetis, which are quite tall in their own right. They're about as big as an ogre, 8-9 feet tall. They have the blue glowing eyes. And there is one Yeti, which is almost twice the size. At least twice the size. It's about 16 feet tall. He just lets out this windborne howl. And it echoes along this canyon. And little shells of snow start to fall down. You can almost feel the entire canyon vibrate. And he just reels his arms back, and this sort of frosty eminence comes out of his mouth. And Norin, you spot the threat. Actually, is anyone not surprised? I think everyone here is really perceptive. So it's just the cultists. The cultists, like, they just like still keep trying to climb down. All right, Norin, you're up.
All right. So I'm gonna assume I wouldn't have my shield on at the moment, just because I was preparing to climb down the rope. So
Okay.
let me find my shield on my sheet here and take it off.
Also, am I in the turn order?
Oh no, I missed you out there, Ren. How dare I? There we go.
Alright. So these
So I
things
gotta get
are.
these Yetis as well.
Oh, never mind. I'm not going first.
Alright, yeah. Just have a think about what you're gonna do there, Norin.
Okay.
This Yeti, it stands up and it just blends in so well with the surrounding snow. It's only the greyish horns and the blue glowing eyes that you notice amongst its white fur. And its eyes gleam at Thomas. And Thomas, you need to make a Constitution save.
I'm still not in the turn order.
Should be. Did I not?
I don't see me.
Okay. Something's happening. It's not rolling you in. Oh, okay. I clicked it twice, but for some reason it didn't work. Alright. So
It added the totals together.
we'll do that turn after yours, Thomas, still, and I'll keep that saving throw for you, but Ren, you're actually up first.
Alright, so how far am I? 5? To get to the bottom would be what, 30? I don't know how close I am. Or I can only move half speed.
Yeah, it's a 45-foot drop. If you climb, half movement speed.
So if I dash climb, I can make it to the bottom?
Yes.
Alright.
Because you're in combat, you will need to make another athletics check to climb.
Okay.
Ooh.
Alright, well that solves that, Rend. You fall 40 feet.
I rage. Can I rage on my bonus?
You haven't raged yet. So what happens is when you look over to hear the Yeti's roar, suddenly the shelf of rock dislodges and you find yourself with nothing to grip onto. You fall backwards and crash down next to Lily on the cold hard snow. You take 16 bludgeoning damage and you land prone. Now, the good thing is you didn't use any of your movement speed yet.
Alright, so now I'm gonna rage.
Okay, that makes you a bit angry. And you can use half your movement to stand up.
Alright, half that, and then, so I can make it to this guy right here then?
Yeah.
Alright. And, we'll reckless attack him.
That's a hit.
Jeez.
Alright, you just step forward. The snow's kind of hard as well, so your boots don't really sink into it too much. You just swing that axe around in a wide arc, catch the Yeti, and bright red blood pats against the snow.
Alright. Once more.
And
Crit.
And I've got the brutal, critical, so I get like an extra damage die.
yeah, I'll work that into your macro but
Okay.
it's going to be 100% dead.
Okay. And
You
Yeah,
swing the axe
so-
around again, you just chomp it in the neck, and the Yeti just slammed sideways onto the snow. Alright, this is a Yeti that gleams its eyes at Thomas. Thomas, you managed to resist, and you're immune to that Yeti's gaze now. And then it just starts running towards you. It sort of runs up, jumps on the cliff face here, and then sort of using one arm, it clings onto the side of the cliff face, and then with its other arm, it just whoosh, slashes at you. And it hits for 13 damage.
Oh shit.
Alright, you've got cold resistance. Alright, cast shield. Roll on the wild magic surge table.
No.
Fireball.
Alright, there you go,
Damn it.
Thomas. You get all of those many sorcery points that you'd expended at the start of the day.
The last time I got that back, I was full. That's awesome.
And the Yeti claws at you again as its claw rebounds off your shield. And a second time. And it ends its turn there. Norin.
Alright, I tell the cultists, maybe you should stick this thing up here for just a little bit, alright? And I'm gonna use one hand to start kind of sliding down the rope, 15 feet, because that would be...
You can make an athletics or an acrobatics check to slide down.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, you get down 15 feet. You're sort
and
of
then
taking it. You're not really sliding down with athletics, you're more just climbing down, hand over hand.
Alright, and then I'll kind of loop the rope around one arm, my left arm, and then start drawing javelins with the other. We'll go for the one that's on Thomas. Obviously, it'd be a disadvantage right now.
I imagine you just they're like throwing daggers to you. You just you don't like hurl them like a javelin, you just throw them like a throwing knife. It spins around.
There's one.
That hits. And the javelin sticks straight into the Yeti's back. Let's have a bit of a roar.
Alright, and here's number 2.
That's another hit. It sticks into the Yeti. And that Yeti looks over its shoulder up at you and lets out a fierce roar.
Let's see. That will be my turn.
I'm not scared of those fiends. And this cultist draws his scimitar and he begins climbing down. Ah! Norin, you can make a dexterity save to try and catch him, if you want.
Oh, no.
Ah! Then you can make a dexterity save to try and catch him.
I'll pass.
Ah!
He's wearing a red shirt for a reason.
And
Number 5.
yeah, he tries to climb down. He grabs onto the rope. He slips, and he's smashed against the
another dead
rocks. It instantly kills him. Perella just stays there. Thomas.
Smart.
I'm gonna make myself invisible. Come down here and quicken a firebolt to this.
Nice.
That hits, and the Yeti erupts into flames. It screeches so loudly, and it just smashes itself against the rocks as it falls to the ground. Some of the snow starts to melt around it in a little patch near the corner of the cliff face. Alright, this cultist just draws a scimitar and is just ready for any... Actually, the cultists are all... They should be all surprised anyway, so I guess that guy wasn't surprised. Lily.
Alright, I'll use my bonus action to begin blade singing. And I will go 40 feet sprinting at this guy. And I'll attack him.
Alright, the snow is exceptionally hard here as well, so you're able to move across it without any difficult terrain. And that hits.
Oh, that rapier thing is very hard to click.
It only just glances the Yeti.
Oh.
You swing at it again, and this time the Yeti kind of just hits its hide and doesn't pierce it.
I'll take a mulligan. I'd like to try this round over.
Alright, finally Roderick, he comes running. He's still like...
Is it nighttime?
He's still pulling
Or
his
is it-
pants up.
Yeah. What was I doing?
Taking a big
Taking a
shit.
You're
Big
looking
dog.
for a giant toilet to take a giant shit.
So wash your hands, you filthy bastard.
Well, I have or just rainwater. Oh, there's plenty of snow around.
Alright, so you can roll yourself into initiative, Roderick. Some dragon cultists have come to help you guys repair the airship, and you're escorting them back to the airship now. And stopping by
Nice.
the Great Worm Cavern to get...
We're escorting him down the cliff right now. It's going very well.
Yeah. Everyone's climbing down the cliff. These cultists, their backstory is they're actually professional athletes. And they're
Oh, this
avid
one
rock
is.
climbers.
We've lost like 40% of them to falling down the cliff.
It's the water deep
Wow.
globetrotters.
This Yeti pierces you with its chilling gaze, Rend. Make a Constitution save. You resist it, and that angers the Yeti, so it just runs and jumps at you and starts trying to slash away. And it hits for 8 points of damage. You can feel this cold energy, like there's a blue glow at the tips of its claws. It swings again, whoosh, and it misses you with the second attack. This abominable Yeti, it just lets out another roar. Echoes along all of the ravine, and it just opens its mouth and it lets out a cone of cold energy.
Oh man.
It washes over Rend and Thomas in a 30-foot cone in this general vicinity. And both of you need to make a
Way worse.
Constitution saving throw. Alright, you guys both brace and resist as this cone of frigid air washes over you. And it is extremely cold. You both make the save and you both have resistance, so you both take 11 points of cold damage. And this 16-foot tall Yeti just beats its hands on its chest and roars some more, and ends its turn there. This Yeti is going to gaze at you, Lily. Make a Constitution save.
Uh-oh.
You feel your eyes start to get really, really cold to the point where they're pretty much burning from freezing, and all of a sudden there's like you can't barely breathe. You feel like your body's frozen over and you can't move, you can't talk, you're paralyzed, and you take 10 points of cold damage. And then the Yeti just tries to start ripping you apart with its claws. First attack misses you. Also, your blade song goes down, Lily. So, what's your AC? 17?
16.
16. It attacks you again, and it hits. You take 23 points of damage with the crit. That's the end of the Yeti's turn. And these other cultists are all surprised. Than.
Could I bonus action jump the rest of the way down here? Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah, you've got enough jump. You've got enough jump speed. 35 feet is your movement, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you cast jump on yourself. Is that concentration? I never think you really use it too much in combat.
It just says I don't know if it's concentration. It's just a jump. It doesn't last very long, does it? Or is it?
1 minute. It's not a concentration, no. So
Okay.
yeah, alright, you cast jump as a bonus action, you spring straight down.
Okay, and then I let's see here. All right. So I still have 35 movement, right? Is that how it works, or no?
Yep, you still got 35 feet left. If you're taking oh no, wait. No, you used
As an
35,
action.
right?
I jumped for 35 down. Yeah.
So that took 35 feet of movement. And you don't have a bonus action, so you can't dash as a bonus action. So you're out of
Okay.
movement.
All right. Would I be able to jump to this square instead, or no?
Sure.
Cool. And I will cast Bless on Thomas, Lily, and myself.
You won't be able to get Thomas because he's invisible.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll unrend myself and Lily.
Lily tries to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You can see her struggle.
And then end of a turn.
Okay. Just use a marker to keep track of who's resisted which chilling gaze as well. Alright, at the start of this round, 2 more Yetis come bounding across the cliff face from the east. They're climbing along it like nothing. Just bounding arm over arm. Straight at
That's a dead cultist right there.
this guy. Actually, yeah, he was surprised so he didn't move last turn. Okay. Back to Ren.
All right. Reckless attack and also great weapon master. So 19 plus 3 minus 5, so 17.
Okay. I think I made you a. Did I make you a thingy macro there? Oh no. I have to make you a macro so it would be like automatic.
Oh. Yeah,
But
okay.
that's alright. Let me just do it for you. There'll be like a click on, click off for Great Weapon Master.
Okay.
And there'll be one for the damage and one for the attack roll. But anyway, if you want to use them, you can.
Yep. Okay, I got them on.
Yeah,
So that one was
that is a
17.
hit.
Okay.
The 24 plus rage.
Yeah, so rage isn't. I've got it checked, but it's not showing this time.
Oh, let me check. I'm just gonna test it. Okay, it's because there's 2 different modifiers. Okay, ignore that for now. I'll make you another macro.
Alright.
Another stage. Alright, so,
So-
24 damage plus rage, 26, 27.
27.
Alright, you cut the Yeti down with a single swing of your axe.
Cool. Alright, then I run up to the big boy. And so we'll continue that.
And
Nice.
that's a crit.
Nice.
Alright, you hit him hard. I'm just going to fix up that macro for you now too, actually. I know how to do it.
Okay.
It has to be a roll, otherwise it doesn't work for some reason. Okay, you smash the axe into the Yeti, and that's an extra +10, right?
Yep.
So 41 damage. You hit him really, really hard in his side. It cuts through his thick fur, and blood starts to streak that fur. It's bright red and great stark contrast against the snow and himself, and it barely flinches.
Alright.
Shit.
Since it was a crit, I get one more.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
So, 19.
that is a hit.
It's still not. That would be 18 with my rage.
Yeah. Okay, it doesn't work. I'll fix it up again. Anyway. So 28 damage, right?
Yeah, with the great weapon.
Okay. You slam the axe into the Yeti again, and this time it does cause the Yeti to sort of flinch a little bit and grab its side and just screech, and blood just starts getting sprayed everywhere. Alright, this Yeti just runs straight for this cultist.
Great.
And it just slashes him. He lets go, he falls unconscious and dying, and he slams onto the ground, failing one death save. The Yeti then continues its movement and starts heading towards Norin, scaling the cliff effortlessly. Norin.
Alright, I'm gonna climb 15 more feet down. Another athletics check?
Yes. Easy.
Alright, and then holding onto the rope, and then have my feet on the wall, so I'm like standing on the cliff face. I'll start throwing javelins at this one that's in my face. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah. I'll throw the ones in my face. One.
That's a hit. Javelin glances its side.
Two.
That's another hit. And that javelin sticks into its leg. It snarls at you.
Alright, let's try to kill this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my action surge. Let's throw a couple more javelins at it. Ah, man, big miss.
That javelin slips out of your hand and falls down and impales the cultist straight through the eye socket, giving you no hope of recovering him.
Oh, oops, sorry.
And next one's a crit. You throw it and it hits the Yeti in the neck and it starts gurgling out blood.
Something's up with my damage. After that,
Yeah, it's a 1.
after that first one, it's just rolling 1 every time. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's because it's a 1 instead of a D.
Yeah, I don't know. It just changed in the middle of clicking the macro. What the hell?
It's all good. Just, re-roll it.
Okay.
Dude,
I'll
Roll20
re-roll.
loves to like subtly change your.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's probably something to do with the character mancer. Who knows what, even though you're not using it at the moment. Alright, so
And this one would have been need to be re-rolled as well.
okay, that
One more
crit
damage.
javelin, you just throw it and stick it straight into the Yeti's mouth. It bursts out the back of its head and the Yeti falls down. Smashes onto the ground.
Aha!
Loud crunch.
The Javelin Master.
That felt good. I'm definitely taking sharpshooter at 12. so I can throw these things 120 feet. That's my turn.
Roderick.
Alright,
Javelin master feat.
Can I see over the cliff face
Yeah.
things from there?
Half cover
Just
from a top
just
of the
one.
face.
Just swan dive.
How much is full damage?
It's just all snow down here. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
It's
After
60,
3 people have died falling.
yeah, it's a 60
Looks
foot
tough
drop.
to me.
We'll put you on YouTube. Go.
How much is full damage?
It's
One.
1d6.
Wait, you are on
No,
YouTube.
10 feet. Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. That's like 76. That's nothing.
66.
Could just like dive off, take a shot, aim for the snow. So I've got Natural Explorer mountains. Can I like tell if there's a patch of soft snow?
It's really hard down there, Roderick. You can see people's feet not even penetrating the snow.
Aim for the bushes.
Yeah, well, they didn't aim for the bushes.
It's like ice, pretty much, because it's been raining
Okay.
a lot.
Aim for the Yetis.
That is a silly.
It's as hard as
Yeah,
the
concrete.
dead Yeti.
I'll just go for this guy then. I'll put a hunter's mark on him. And
A head.
This is Hex.
The arrow glances its torso. Blood
No,
streaks
take another
out in
shot.
the wind. Take another shot, but this time the arrow just hits the top of the cliff face and sinks straight into the snow.
I suppose no dread ambushes since it's not first round of combat. It's like
It is your first round, Roderick, so you've got Dread Ambusher.
okay. That
These are the benefits of taking a
constipation wasn't
shit.
too much of a battle.
Alright, you aim carefully, sort of lean over the edge a bit. You line the Yeti up and put an arrow straight through its eye socket, and it is driven. It lets go of its grip, it's driven straight down, hits the ground with a loud crack.
Oh, and it was next too. Good job.
The cultists are going to just remain up here, the ones that are watching the other ones fall down and die. Thomas.
Right. Gonna shoot fire chromatic orb at the one by the.
That hits the Yeti. The chromatic orb hits it in the chest and just burns a big cavity straight to its heart. It falls backwards and a big trail of smoke rises up from it. This cultist will dodge. Alright, Lily, you can repeat a constitution save at the end of your turn.
Alright. I don't get any advantage for the guy who scared me being dead.
No.
You don't need it.
And at the end of your turn, you manage to break free of this chilling gaze. Alright, this Yeti is quite furious, and it just towers over you, Ren. This guy's about as big as a hill giant. As it snorts, it's like bright blue mist coming out of its nose, and its gigantic eyes gleam. These two big cylinders of blue light just almost shoot out at you from the Yeti, and you need to make a Constitution save. It doesn't affect you, and then the Yeti just comes in clawing at you with these gigantic fists that are its arms are the size of tree trunks, and it slashes you for 9 points of damage with your resistance, and with its other claw it hits you for 11 points of damage with your resistance. Each swing has got a lot of power behind it, and then it starts sort of inhaling and breathing in a little bit of this blue mist that it just snorted out. Cultists just remain here. One of them is still dying.
Oh yeah.
Than.
I'm gonna bonus action spare the dying on the one here,
Okay.
and
His neck just sort of snaps back into place when you do that.
perfect.
It was like turned around 180 degrees.
I'll move up to here, and as my action, I'll put Path to the Grave on this guy.
Okay.
Um,
The Yeti's fur turns kind of grey and it separates into these like sort of cracks of soft flesh. So it looks like a shattered eggshell all around it at the moment. And its eyes take on this like just deathly pallor. These black shadows appear under its eyes, and it looks like death itself.
and then I will move. So I move 5, 10. That's 25 feet. Move 5 more feet that way. And then my turn there.
This cultist, Trout, he seems to be sort of Delsophine's advisor.
Delphine, are we merely going to just stand here? Idly by?
And they all nod. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. Ren.
Alright. Sorry. Yeah, so we're gonna do Reckless and Great Weapon Master.
Alright, I made you a macro now, Ren. If it doesn't
yeah,
work,
I saw that.
then
I changed. Yeah.
pick a new
So
thing.
there we go.
No, I'm joking. Alright, that is a hit. And you slam the axe into it. The Yeti sort of falls down to one knee and blood is just everywhere.
Alright, we'll do that again.
That should have been doubled, right?
That is
No,
a hit.
it wasn't a crit. It added 10 though.
But you had Path to the Grave on it, so it's vulnerable
Oh yes,
to whatever
that's
you
right.
got.
Oh,
I didn't have
Nice.
that. Okay, so then its flesh starts to crack apart and it's just gaping wound. So they appear all over its torso and you can actually see its entrails inside. Its flesh is just falling off of it. You sort of jump up again, Rand, with swing with your axe and just come in. And you hit it on the neck and just cleave its head clean off. Abominable Yeti head rolls along the ground and just rolls off this nearby cliff to the south. Falls off into some unknown abyss.
cool.
And that's all the Yetis.
Well done, everyone. Then I should only be 30 feet from the bottom, so if I dash,
You can get down now,
yeah.
safely.
Since it's not in combat, do I need to?
No, there's not that same
Roll.
sort of pressure on you, so you can
Okay.
easily get down with your original ability check.
All right, Delphine and company, come on down.
Okay.
Oh, so
They'll start
Climb
scaling down one by one. Perella goes first. She's freezing.
Can-
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start off one of the dead ones. I'm gonna start taking some of the barbarian gear off.
She gets down.
Is it possible for me to climb up and let me
Get
just
them
see
out.
here. Oh, never mind. Fuck it.
You could help
Never
them.
mind.
You could
Actually, let's-
give yourself disadvantage to give them advantage if you want.
No, it's alright. Let's just.
We can tie the climbers' kits to the rope and have them haul them up.
I was gonna go up and just give them guidance one by one, but that was what I was thinking. But let's just see. This is a good test.
Do you still need to make a check? I thought you said.
They do, yeah.
Is that they do? Do I as well? Should I do it?
Yeah, you need to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Sure. Let's see. Yeah, I want. No, that's fine.
You just slide straight down, Roderick. Easy. All right.
You feeling good after that shit?
So do you guys tell anything to these cultists before they continue descending? Otherwise, they just.
Should we,
You
Should we
can
send
do
it?
it.
Don't
we send
suck.
should we send up the climbers kits?
Yeah, they can't hear you as well because it's like so windy and your voice just doesn't travel that far.
Well, I mean,
I just
They pull up the climbers kit with the big.
All right, use a minor illusion, and when you do that, Thomas, and you cause that booming voice, you feel a bit of a shudder.
Oh no. I'm running away from Thomas.
And
cantrip.
you look up to the area around the Eye of the Allfather, and you just see this big white plume start to form at the top of the cliff. It's an avalanche.
It's
like coming
down.
And it's several hundred feet away from you, but it's going to descend upon you guys pretty quickly, and by the looks of it, it's going to spill straight into this ravine. The cultists haven't noticed it from their vantage point. They can't see it. The shelves of rock above them obscure their view, so they're still just like, they yell back to you. They're trying to yell as loud as they can, but you can't really hear their voice. It's kind of muffled, just...
So we need to start climbing back up.
No, I think the avalanche is coming towards us.
What's the options? Sorry, which way is it coming
That's
from?
an option.
Can we-
It's coming from above to the north of this map. From the top of the nearby cliff face, it's just a big collective shelf of snow. And it's going to slam straight down into this ravine and then keep going down to the south. So you guys could book it to the west, down the path, or stay here and get hit by the avalanche.
Book it to the
There's
west.
something else.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I can make 3 people fly, but not 5.
Alright, Roderick,
I'm gonna.
you've got
I
a
can
rope
do
trick.
that. Well, that's what I'm suggesting. I can do that, and we can just like not be here.
Yeah, if you can rope trip it, trick. That would be
How up to 8 medium or smaller creatures. So those guys at the top are pretty screwed. We've got 7 down here.
Let's just book it. What are we doing?
They're looking around kind of confused, like waiting for you to bring up the climber's kit on the rope, Thomas.
Oh,
Alright, they see you guys start to like move around, and then they just sort of
pointing up.
So did Roderick rope trip?
they continue to just start sliding
Yeah,
down the rope
watch.
themselves.
Cast-
Can I grab this guy here
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
and
I do it with like
go with that?
20
Drag-
feet of rope or something.
Alright, so you've got a
Actually,
you cut your rope at 20 feet, Roderick.
20 feet.
The five.
Did I have that? What do I have? Oh, actually, I've got a. This one says. That's the weight.
Cultists
Just
just
book it.
start descending down, and like one of them just yells,
Book it.
"What is going on?"
Avalanche, run! We
What?
grab the other grab the other cultists too.
They
Yeah.
they look up,
I wanna grab them.
and then they start to wave the other 2 cultists, Delphine and Trout, down, and they very hastily begin to descend the rope as well. But Delphine slips, and as he's sliding down, and then he gets down about 10 feet, and then he just starts slipping like the rest of the 50. The other cultist has to jump out of the way, and he falls onto the ground with a loud thump. And he just starts breathing. You think he's probably broken some ribs or something. Starts sort of breathing with this sort of nasally impaled
Is he
breath.
Is he dead?
You don't
Like
know.
spare the dying type thing? I'll cast spare the dying on him, and I'll
Okay.
just yell out, "Grab him and let's go! Grab her and let's go!" Whatever.
Right, you cast Spare of the Dying, and suddenly his like sort of nasally breath, it ceases, and he seems to be stable. At this stage, the avalanche is like upon you guys now. So, Roderick, have you done a rope trick?
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, so Roderick, you go up. How much rope are you cutting?
I'm not sure if I cut it before. It still is 10 the weight. But yeah, I'd probably do 20 feet off it.
You do 20
4
feet.
people are getting in there.
That
Yep.
much?
So you want to climb 20 feet to get up to your rope?
Oh,
Nah, probably not.
You can, if you want to.
How good am I at climbing? Not that great. Kind of want it a bit up. Actually, yeah, probably like 10 feet, because then it's a bit higher than a normal ceiling. Can
All
jump
right.
a bit. Yeah, can reach, yeah.
You do 10 feet, and just make it an athletics check to scale that little bit of rope.
Yep.
Alright, you climb up there. So Thomas, Rend, and Than, you guys book it to the west. The three of you
Yeah.
run to the west, and there is like a little bit of a stream up ahead here, and it creates extremely slippery ice, and the three of you need to make acrobatics checks for moving over slippery ice as you run.
oh.
Alright, Thomas, you slip over at about here, and Than and Randy, you guys make it clear. The cultist, so Roderick, you go up in your rope trick, and Lily and Norin, what are you guys doing?
Oh, I went up. I scampered up with him.
Alright, make an athletics check, Lily.
I rolled it right after he
She
did.
was climbing
Okay.
it before I even finished casting.
Alright.
Swing the rope up and she's already climbing.
Norin, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I feel like I probably would have been over here with these guys, but I was gonna grab.
Yeah, he was
cultist,
grabbing the
cultist.
last cultist from way before.
Okay. So
And
you
moving
grab
with
him
him
and
from-
running off to the side.
I'll yell at the other cultists to grab Delphine. But yeah, I would have run over here with Thomas and them, because not everybody would be able to get into the rope trip.
Alright. Your movement speed is slowed, Norin, and also it's extremely slippery, so you need to make an acrobatics check at disadvantage. These cultists are heading straight for the rope trick, and Trout is going to struggle to try and get up there too. So 3 cultists try to climb up the rope. It's not very difficult to climb a short length of rope. They all get in there except for Perella, who is exhausted from the cold. And even Trout gets up there with Delphine. Right, Norin, you manage to slide across the ice, and you don't make it as far as Rend and Than because you've got the cultist with you and he's slowing you down. So this big shelf of snow just slams down now. So Norin, make a constitution save as an avalanche falls on you. Alright, you managed to resist this tremendous weight. It's pretty serious because it's a large quantity of snow and it's falling on you hard. You brace though, and you take 11 bludgeoning damage. And you are now restrained. Alright, so that massive avalanche falls down through the ravine. A lot of it spills down, filling the ravine with about 20 feet of snow. And then the rest of it continues down, hurling down to the cliff to the south. And that all happens within a matter of minutes. And this is now about 5 minutes later. Yeah. This is 5 minutes later when the snow has just covered this entire ravine.
So from where we are now, can we get a pretty good idea where Norn and Thomas were?
Yeah, you saw Norin. Oh yeah, Thomas, you also need to make a con save. You got buried as well. Yeah, you saw where they were, and the avalanche just fell down on top of them.
Alright. So
Thomas,
once
you,
it seems...
you take 11 bludgeoning damage as well if you can find yourself. And yeah, so they get buried, and those of you who are buried, I imagine you're still alive. You're restrained, so you're sort of stuck underneath quite a large quantity of snow, and it's freezing and it's dark.
So, can I start trying to push my way up, to them and try to dig somebody out?
Yeah, you can make an investigation check or a survival check to try and locate exactly where they are, Rend.
I'll do that as well.
Okay. Rend, you start just swimming through the snow and digging, and you're just making all these tunnels, and you don't have any luck finding them right now.
Can we try digging our own way up?
In a second. All right, Than, you take a look at the cliff's face and use that as a bit of a scale into comparison where you think they are. You imagine they probably got shifted a little bit as well. Hopefully they didn't get dragged down across the cliff side. And those of you that are buried can make an athletics check to try and break free.
I think it would be safe to start casting firebolts in here to try to melt stuff.
Fireballs.
Yeah, fireballs.
Go big or go home.
It's up to you what you want to do. Alright, Norin, you're able to you just like sort of use your antlers and just start moving around side to side. And you start digging your way out. Thomas, you start doing firebolts and all the ice around you begins to melt. While this is happening, we're going to come back to you guys. So Lily, Roderick, and 3 cultists are all huddled up in this tiny extra-dimensional space. It's just blackness all around you, and when you look down into the window, you just see snow. What do you guys do?
Does it seem like the avalanche is done?
Yeah, you can tell that the snow has come to a halt because it was just sort of churning past the window, and now it's just stagnant.
Okay. Yeah, probably have to dig. Create or destroy water says water in an open container. So that probably won't work.
Snow is not water. Water is
Not the
liquid water.
Yeah.
It's not the time for a sleet storm either.
No.
So you're snowed in your extra-dimensional space. So what do you guys want to do? Just wait it out? Start digging?
You can start digging.
You can make an athletics check to dig through the snow.
Can they
Well,
give
we've
them
got
some
somewhere to
help?
put the snow, right?
Oh,
So it shouldn't
it's not
too hard.
It can start to collapse.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to dig your way out.
Yeah, I'll give you help.
It's quite a lot of pressure on the snow, so it's compacted a lot.
Right.
Roderick, you start digging and you like dig your way out of your extra-dimensional space, and then you start digging vertically, and then you start digging up, and you're only a few feet under the snow. You pop your head up top of the snow, and you've created a tunnel.
Nice.
So the rest of you can follow that tunnel. All right, Than, you've managed to locate Norin, and Norin's head bursts up from the snow. You're about 26 feet under the snow, Norin. Thomas, you start firebolting, and you start creating a tunnel for yourself, and it becomes extremely slippery, and you start sliding down this fiery tunnel, and you're being dragged to the south.
Uh-oh. Can I Misty step back to where?
Okay. As you misty step, you see the actual tunnel that you've created starting to collapse in on itself, but you managed to misty step and put yourself back to your original starting position. Then more snow falls down, and Than and Thomas, you start to feel this little shelf of snow shift a little bit.
I'll try to. Is Norin out?
Yeah, Norin's out.
All right, let's go back to the safety of the little cliffside here.
Thomas is dead.
Did
I mean, I'll pass the cultist off to somebody else and help
I'll
Thomas.
grab the. Oh, I can help. Sorry, I didn't realize. I thought Thomas was out.
No, he's still buried.
Jesus.
Oh,
No sign of Thomas. You
Okay,
guys just see the
I'll
snow
start.
shift a little bit.
I'll start looking for Thomas.
Alright, what do? Yell really loudly? Create a really
Would
loud
you say
noise?
he's lost?
I'm gonna start yelling out for him, and
You want to start
I knew
yelling?
that. No, not. I'm gonna start digging where I thought he was. I guess.
Yeah, you can make an
And
athletics
look for him.
check. You've got a good idea of where he was, Stan, from your survival check. And you just grab your shield and you just bucket that shit out, and you manage to find Thomas like really quickly.
All right. I'll grab him and help him get out.
Okay, grab his
Thanks.
hand and just yank him out and like throw him up 20 feet with your superhuman strength.
Goddamn right.
Alright, so you guys are all free now, and amidst all the carnage, you look around, and poor Perella had been crushed completely and did not survive the avalanche. So you've got 4 cultists still alive, 5 cultists still alive.
That's more than I thought we would have. So
Yep. I thought we'd have 0. To be honest.
Good job, Roderick. Like legit. Good job, man.
You just saved like half the cultists.
Got enough rope.
The rope is gone as well. This bridge as well got completely shattered. It's broken. The wooden posts are ripped off of their hinges and taken down hundreds of feet below you.
Well, note to self: do not make very loud noises while in the canyons.
Do you make that note loudly?
Not really.
You use prestidigitation
You speak that. Do you keep that thought to yourself, or do you speak it aloud? Do you dare speak it aloud? I'm gonna cast silence across the party.
Out of curiosity, does silence require a verbal component?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't think.
It feels like silence shouldn't, but
It's purely somatic
the somatic
for
one
avalanche
should just be
purposes.
like the finger in front of your lips.
It's actually
Verbal somatic.
verbal and somatic. Yeah.
So
he's
the
like-
verbal sound is literally the shh.
Yeah.
And somatic is
That's the
obvious.
somatic also
finger.
is the finger.
Yeah. Finger over the lips.
The cultists, they don't really,
Aren't you
Try
guys
to,
glad you came?
they don't really seem to care about their fellow cultists dying at all. They just sort of press on. Trout grabs Delphine, just grabs him by the shoulder, the arm slings him over his shoulder, and the other 2 cultists pick up Oriscus, and they just start to carry him. And they look up at you through their masks that they've sort of readjusted and whatnot. Where to next? They say, without like any remorse for the other cultists dying.
Well, all
To the
right,
west.
well, this
they,
way.
They will be with Tiamat now. Bless them. They say.
So we have 2 unconscious, but stable.
Yeah.
All right. As soon as we get to the safety, somewhere safe, I just ask everyone to gather around. I'll cast prayer healing, and so everyone that's injured is going to get that much healing back.
What, you're not going to heal me just because I'm a different cloak of a different domain?
Well, you're full health, so
How loud do you do
Yeah,
your
but
prayer of healing? Yeah.
very quietly, very quietly.
Seek you, O Lord.
Okay. Alright, the cultists are back conscious and they just grumble a little bit. Delphine says, a minor setback. We need to press on. And
Alright.
now, so it's a couple of day journey to the Great Worm Cavern. And without Harshnag, this trip is going to be extra dangerous and a lot more difficult.
Does that mean we get a long rest?
Are we going to be walking over snow and stuff? Is it going to be
You're going to be...
treacherous?
Yeah, you're up in the spine of the world. It's sharp cliffs, chasms, snow, wind, low oxygen.
All right. Well, if it helps,
It's only like you can see it on the map here. It's literally only like 40 miles from where you guys are, which you could usually do in you could do that in like 2 days. Because you've taken the shortcut, it actually does reduce your trip down to 2 days. Otherwise, that would have taken you like 5 days or something to get that. It's slow going.
Okay.
But I think Roderick is
Yeah. Natural Explorer Mount.
Natural Explorer, so yeah, that's what's letting you travel a lot quicker as well. Otherwise, you'd be lucky to do 10 miles a day, really, if you.
I've got Wander as well. Maybe that might help. I don't know.
Yeah, put it up. Excellent memory for maps and geography. All right, so
I'll also ritually cast Water Walk if that helps our footing at all.
Okay.
On the snow.
All right, with those abilities, you'll be able to recall the way back without needing to make any survival check. You'll have no chance of getting lost.
Oops, sorry. I was playing with the spell. I didn't mean to cast.
All right, you've given the
do that at night.
the cold weather clothing, and it's a 2-day journey. As you're traveling, I need everyone to make 2 Constitution saves with advantage. You don't have any other encounters or any other troubles. You just follow the route that you took to get there. You follow it directly all the way back. You don't have any trouble from any creatures on the way. And there are 5 cultists. I'm going to roll up all their saves. Alright, oh, I didn't roll enough saves. Should be 20 saves, or 20 rolls. Okay, the cultists, some of them are doing alright, and some of them are not doing too well. Lily, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion, and all in all, everyone's not too bad. Like, no one gets like serious altitude sickness. A couple of the cultists have 2 levels of exhaustion. Actually, 3 of them. Half of them have 2 levels of half of them have 2 levels of exhaustion. But that's 2 levels is like disadvantage on ability checks and what do you get for 2 levels?
They die.
Rolls and saves, I think.
Attack rolls and saves. Okay.
Speed is halved.
So yeah, you is it speed half for 2 levels?
Yeah, it's disadvantage on ability checks and speed halves, at least according to the sheet.
Okay, yeah.
Correct.
So by the time you've finished your 2-day journey to the Great Worm Cavern, that's how the cultists are doing. A couple of them are starting to slow you guys down, but that doesn't cut into this journey. So everyone should take another long rest, because it's 2 days later now. And you arrive back at the Great Worm Cavern. With the cultists. Giant cultists.
And now we actually have the spells that we got when we leveled up, right?
Yep. We should have them anyway.
Oh, oops.
Unless you prepare spells.
Oh, okay, I did it right.
It just didn't like recover anything from leveling up. Pretty much. Alright, so yeah, the
It's taking a
cultists.
long. Does taking a long rest help with the exhaustion at all?
It's not if you're failing those con saves. If you do, then it will. It will reduce the level of your exhaustion by 1. So yeah, Lily, you've been having a hard time, trouble breathing. You're feeling sick. You've well, you're not that bad. You're just feeling a bit tired, pretty much. It's starting to take a little bit of a toll on you. It's not as bad as the other cultists. So anyway, you guys return to the Great Worm Cavern. You just follow this little rocky, icy pathway, and you arrive at the entrance of the cavern. So you're sort of like here on this map at this entrance here. And you can see the 4 columns of ice branching the entry cavern, like the maw of some sort of creature, gigantic creature, and that leads to the cave beyond.
All right.
The cultists just sort of are going to. They don't want to enter the cavern, so they're just going to hang out in this little alcove of ice around the corner here. Come and get us when you're done.
Who wants to hold on to the empty iron flask that we will need shortly? Anyone?
I'll hold it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing with it.
It's to trap a
air.
air elemental inside. Okay. Alright, Ren hangs on to that.
Yep.
So as you guys enter to the entrance of the cavern, you notice a lot of these tribal warriors, and there are some barbarians here as well. The biggest of the tribe.
Did we go over what we're going to tell these people?
And they 4 of them come out and sort of block your path. They cross their arms and puff their chests out.
We've done your god's bidding and returned.
We have proof.
Huh. You're the ones that the spirit seekers speak of. You have returned. Where is your proof?
One of them calls out.
Pull Worm Blood's head out of my pack.
When they see the head, they start moving in tribalistic ways. Their heads flowing in and out, and they start chanting, and then they start taking daggers and cutting their hands and rubbing blood on their face. Start speaking in Bolthi, a tribal language.
Strange people.
Very well. You may approach altar.
2 of the barbarians step aside.
Whoever's got the flask come, just in case.
After you step in, Thomas, they step back,
Only him.
and they block anyone else from entering.
Oh. Then I pass the flask over to Thomas then.
You want drink? What this?
They
It's
question
for Thomas.
you. Ren.
Yeah.
It's my flask. I'm here to talk to your god.
Alright, make a deception check, Thomas, to these guys don't like magic.
Huh. Weak, you need drink.
And they
Keep me
scrutinize
warm.
you.
Okay. You take. You go speak, Elram.
All the nomads watch you, Thomas. They start dancing and chanting. You're not sure if they're heckling you or celebrating you, but they part ways for you as you make your way up this icy ramp towards the altar that rises from the back of the cavern. You approach the triangular promontory of ice-covered rock. You're 120 feet above the cavern floor at its peak. Every single member of the Wormblood tribe is looking up at you. Dozens of them, women, children, and powerful male barbarians, and powerful female barbarians.
Unpowerful child barbarians.
Attempting to use my booming voice. But,
Yeah, there are a couple of ripped babies carrying little hand axes crawling around.
we'll hold up the head and call out, Mighty Elrim, we have brought you your proof.
Alright, you stand before the altar, frost-covered stone, shaped like a coiled serpent with great wings. And the serpent hisses, and all of the tribal warriors start to hesitate. They recede into their caverns, and they look weary as the serpent rises out of the altar to greet you.
You bring to me your offering.
Looks like a winged snake with feathery wings, like that of a vulture.
Waddle?
They've got
Or coaddle? Quiddle.
Quaddle.
quaddle.
Yeah.
It's got these red wings. Almost
I don't
looks
like what that word has done with vowels.
It's like Aztec or something? Am I in?
Yeah.
And
I usually
bring-
good.
I am neither
Roll
Mayan nor
with
Hizen.
And yeah, it looks like these barbarians have never seen this spirit before in the flesh.
You bring to me the head of warm blood. Oh, chosen
Just as you
one.
know.
Yeah. Excellent. This is what I seek. This is the proof that I need. For he was foul and evil. He was a stain on this tribe's good-hearted nature. It was turning them to evil ends. He had fallen under the sway of evil spirits. And I shall give to you your reward.
All of the tribal warriors are pretty much back in their caves at this stage.
I bestow upon you my charm.
And he bestows upon you a charm of restoration, Thomas.
Nice.
A little red feather of his tail just plops down on your head, almost like a headdress, and you feel this energy fill you. A kind, lightening energy. And the charm of restoration, it has 6 charges. You can use 4 charges for greater restoration and 2 charges for lesser restoration. So you could do 1 greater and 1 lesser, 3 lessers.
Thank you, Great One. May I ask a question?
Yes.
We're seeking to capture an air elemental. Might you be able to help with that?
What you seek lies in the caves to the south.
And he points to those caves where it says caves.
It's where that creature, where the guy disappeared last time we were here. We got grabbed.
What you seek is there in the caves. This will be your final test.
Thank you, Great One. Oh, and what does the gong do?
This is sacred. An artifact, a relic, belonging to the people of this tribe. It was once in possession of the giants, but now belongs to this tribe.
see.
That's one of the runes.
I was gonna look at it to see if there's a rune on.
It's a crescent-shaped gong in a crude stone frame. It's a circular disc 13 feet in diameter and almost looks like a shield. But there's a large piece missing. It must weigh 300 pounds. And it looks like it reminds you of Cloth's dragon scales. It actually looks like it's made of red dragon scales that have been bolted to a copper frame. The leather arm strap is completely missing. And yeah, a large gong.
You must strike the gong for your trial.
And the other barbarians, they are all sort of kneeling and they part ways for you guys, for everyone else to enter for this cloister.
Perfect.
You notice that the entrances of the cave, those of you that walk down close to them, are all completely frozen over with ice.
When you are ready, strike the gong.
When he goes to strike it, I want a blade sing.
Okay.
You ready, friends?
Let's just do it.
Let's get it on. Bang a gong.
Ready.
Alright. Thomas, you don't have anything to bang it with. There's no knocker there or anything.
Oh yes.
Well,
you
there's-
know.
Bang it with the hilt of my dagger.
Okay. You hit it with the hilt of your dagger, Thomas, and it doesn't even make a sound.
It's broken.
You lack the strength to ring the gong. If you lack that strength, then you lack.
Are they watching us?
Does it have to be him?
Would they be able to see us cast spells or no?
Yeah,
That's not cast.
they're all
We
sort
get
of watching you guys, but the Quaddle says,
Those of you that possess the strength may ring the gong.
and it will require one good athletics check to whack that gong hard enough.
Alright, I'm gonna hit it.
All guidance.
Alright, you hit it with your axe, Rand, and it doesn't make any gonging sound.
All right, it's time for the shield to come out
needed
with the
to
dove on it.
Time for the big gun.
I'm gonna slam my shield into it.
Okay.
There we go.
Alright, Thomas, you just step back with your shield and BONG! And Lily, you go into a blade song straight away, and the sound resonates off all of the cavern walls, almost creating this like a dazzling song for a brief moment. And suddenly you hear this cracking, and the ice that was sheathing one of the caves shatters open. And Lily gets upset because nothing happens here. But the Quaddle says, points with its tail.
You are worthy. Enter the caves for your trial.
Run into the cave. My other blades.
It's all good.
Alright, your blade song only goes for a minute in the Lily, so it's gone by the time you enter the cave.
Yep.
But you look inside, you see a dark cavern. It's dark in here. There's no light.
Turn on my lantern.
Okay.
Since I'm inside and out of view, I'll cast light on my deck.
Okay. As you guys approach, the tribal warriors sort of gather around the entrance, like they start chanting tribalistic manner. And both you guys enter the cave. I will take a 10-minute break now. When we get back, we'll be inside the cave. I'll see you guys soon.
Alright.
Alrighty.
How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
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 Alright. So, you guys are at the entrance of the cave. There is a bit of light reflecting off the many bright surfaces of the interior of the actual larger cavern, appearing in a little bit of light, but other than that, it's pretty much pitch black inside this cavern. You look inside and the ground is covered with slippery ice. So if you run, if you take the dash action, you will have a chance of slipping over. There are icy stalagmites and stalactites lining the floor and ceiling. They hang like crystals, particularly sharp ends. The cavern itself is fairly large. It starts off about 12 feet high at the entrance and extends to a height of 30 feet overhead. Alright, you want to pull out your familiar, Lily?
I assume it's just us. Yeah, I mean, she's just out and riding on my shoulder.
I'll presume she's in her pocket dimension unless you say otherwise, because otherwise, yeah, she'll freeze to death too from the cold weather.
Oh.
I would like to light my lantern.
Okay. Alright, those of you with lanterns hold them up, and the orange glower from the lantern reflects all these dazzling different shades and hues of red and orange that catch on the reflective surfaces and dance along the walls, and your shadows also sort of dance about from what you illuminate. It's very ambient temperature in here. It's not as cold as what you would have expected. It's like almost like an oval shaped chamber. The walls are glazed with ice. You move through and there's a large column of ice in the center of the cavern that extends all the way from floor to ceiling. It's almost like a thick wall.
Dare to lick it.
No, thank you.
Looks like something.
Right, you move through this frigid environment, and up ahead you see a pool of bright blue water. It gleams and reflects with the light that you create. There's a big pile of treasure. Hundreds and hundreds of gold pieces and other items and gemstones scattered about in a big pile against the northern wall around a little icy alcove.
Can we see all the way to the ceiling?
Yep. The ceiling's 30 feet, so anyone with... You know, the lanterns extend out to 60 feet, so... This icy pool in the middle of the room looks particularly slippery as well. It's just ice, like really slippery ice.
Is this corner completely full with treasure?
It is. The treasure is frozen over. There is a glaze of ice covering it all. But yeah, there's gold, gemstones, and multiple items.
Can I check for traps in this area?
You can make a perception check. You get the feeling that no one inhabits this cave.
I'm imagining Home Alone style booby traps.
You take a look around then, and there are no traps. The treasure, though, is again covered with a glaze of ice.
Well, it's perfectly safe, guys. That's a guarantee.
That's what I like to hear.
Hmm.
I'll try tossing a firebolt on the treasure, see if it melts anything.
Oh boy.
Alright, when you hit the treasure, it melts the glaze off a little bit, and suddenly the icy pool here begins to quiver. A little shockwave of water ripples outwards from the center point and begins to form a vortex, a tornado that swirls around. And rising up from the pool of water is a suit of armor. It hovers above the pool at a height of about 3 feet.
Oh. Interesting.
With Excalibur armor. Nice.
And that all happened because of the firebolt? Seems like.
It happened at the same time.
Do it again. See if something else comes out.
What kind of
Anyone?
armor is this?
Go put it on.
It looks like plate mail.
Nice.
It could be
Uh-oh.
magical as well. It's got a bit of a blue gleam to it.
Uh-oh.
Lovely.
So there was like a vortex going on.
Yeah, and then the armor rose up from the center of that vortex.
And it's just levitating on its own?
It seems to be hovering in the air. It's very still.
I suppose I got
Anybody
50 feet of rope left. Good. What, 40 feet? Normally comes in 50 feet,
gonna
doesn't it?
lasso that shit?
Yeah. Do it.
So, can I begin a detect magic ritual?
Sure.
You can.
I'm going to try lasso it. Suppose with 8 survival I can tie a knot.
Tying knots is a sleight of hand check. So tying one
Okay.
and throwing the knot, you can make a sleight of hand check for that, including throwing it. It's easy enough. There are a lot of jagged edges of the armor, and you lasso onto it.
Start trying to pull it in.
It hovers towards you, Roderick. You reel it in, and it continues to hover in the air. And now you've got it within arm's reach.
Right where you want it.
Perfect.
I
Pull
dare
it
you
back.
to lick it.
I'll pull it back a bit further, so we're off the ice, and it's
Taste
floating
it.
above the ground. And then I'll reach out and grab it, and
When you place your hand on it,
Oh boy.
suddenly there's like a strong wind that blows all around the cave. It seems to wash over someone, one at a time. Washes by Lily, then Thomas, and Thand. Swirls around Norin and Rand, unfamiliar and random patterns. And finally, it washes by you, Roderick, and your red beard. It flails in the air, and then the wind seems to hit that suit of armor and breathes life into it. And you see now this humanoid shape of wind inside the armor. It's an air
Right.
elemental.
I wanted that.
It's a what now?
An air elemental.
Perfect.
In armor.
It's
Piss
inside
off.
the armor. At the same
Found
time
it first.
that happens, steam rises up from 3 separate sections of the cave. One is underneath Rend, and Rend, you need to make a dexterity save.
Alright, that's advantage because of the Darwinian
Yep.
thing.
You've got danger sense. It's something you can
Yep.
see. You're Yeah, you're easily able to move back. You jump out of the way, Rand, very quickly. This all happens very suddenly. And the ground beneath you is melting, and 3 4-foot diameter holes melt to the ground. And rising up from those holes are 3 young Remorats.
Hate those dudes.
And lightning starts to crackle around the Myrmidon. And this large sword of lightning appears in its hands. And it raises it up to attack you, Roderick. And at the same time, the 3 Remorats hiss and their frills jitter. You can see this big pumping, rolling red glow down its spine. And all 4 creatures attack you guys.
So can you post the iron flask thing again, so I can see how? I couldn't find the head.
Oh yeah, you've got it right now, Thomas.
Thank you, sir.
This is like Pokemon.
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah, I think we want to do that as soon as possible. So I'll target the Myrmidon and try to...
Alright, you rip open the stopper and the command word is Cloth
Pikachu.
is superior to me.
It's what?
Cloth is superior to me.
Well, it's superior to me.
Alright, when you say that, you start to see the tail end of this elemental through the bottom of the armor get sucked towards the iron flask like a genie being sucked into a bottle. And it slams into the iron flask and starts to glow. You quickly put the stopper back on and the suit of armor just smashes to the ground. Suit of plate mail.
Awesome.
The flask shakes a few times.
Yeah, it's glowing. It bursts back
Master
out.
Ball.
No. Doesn't burst back.
Oh, almost had it.
Don't you know you're supposed to weaken it first, Thomas? Like,
Well, I did. That's why I wanted to.
no, it worked straight away. It just sucked the Myrmidon straight out of the armor.
All right, so I'll
Exploits.
bonus action. I'll quicken a mirror.
Alright, roll on the wild magic surge, Thomas.
One day I'm gonna learn not to stand next to you.
Suddenly, Thomas just increases in size. He rises up to double his height.
Kaiju battle now.
And girth. Winky face.
Everything
And
doubles.
length.
Hey,
Alright, I'm gonna come in here and put that help action on him and then fly back and up into...
okay. 20 feet.
Yeah. Thank you.
Alright, this Remoras hisses and its long body just slides along the ground and it just lashes itself at Roderick and it misses. Fire, tuft of lava sort of spurts out of its teeth. Lily.
Okay, let's see. Rend, I imagine, is about to start stabbing things. I'm going... Yeah, we're gonna ding-dong doom this guy. I don't want to... Yeah, that'll do it.
Alright, fails and
So just 7.
squirms around a little bit.
Yeah, not much. I'm also going to back up. Let's see. Yeah, right around here.
All right.
I'm going to take out my trident. Well, I guess I'd already have it out. And we'll go for this one.
That's a hit. You jam the trident into it, Norin, and a bit of lava splashes back onto you for 3 fire damage.
I'm going to put my unwavering mark on him. Or it. Whatever its gender is. Hard to tell.
That hits. As you pierce it, you burst another one of these beads. Hit you for another 10 fire damage.
Shit. Hurt a little more. I think that is going to be it for Norin for now.
Ren.
Alright. We will rage. And then I'm a reckless attack and great weapon master this guy.
Okay. That hits. You slash into it, and a bit of lava splashes onto you for 4 damage.
Alright. Do it again.
That's another hit. And you slash through it. Again, its long body is sort of coiling around, and you slash through it. You almost cut it in 2. Roderick.
Okay. Cast Shillelagh and stuff, and then this is right. Yep.
You whack the Remoraz, and it just causes these beads to jitter, and a bit of heat bursts out from it for 3 damage.
Right. Yeah, I'll take that. And we'll do it again.
That's another hit. This time you hit it quite hard. Another bead explodes. You hit for 6 damage, and the Remoraz looks slightly battered.
And Dread Ambusher.
And you spin the quarterstaff around again. You smack it in the face. Knock its head to the side, and its antennae start flailing about. A bit of fire flares out from it for 4 damage.
Cool. It's getting warm in here.
This
So take off all your
Remoraz,
clothes.
it doesn't like Rend hitting it, so it's going to attack him at disadvantage and then advantage. So regular attack at you, Rend.
Alright.
And yeah, it really doesn't like you hitting it. It bites you very hard for 16 points of damage.
Alright.
And ends its turn there. Than.
I'm going to. Let's see here. I'm not in melee range with this guy as far as if
No.
I moved, would I get an opportunity attack on me?
No, they don't have reach. You fought them a few times
Okay.
before, so you've seen how they act, how they behave.
All right, I will put I'll put Path to the Grave on this guy for my action, and I will move down to about here.
as you move there, you look over at that Remoraz that you'd just done the path of the grave, and all of the red beads have turned black, like you've turned out the lights on it, and it looks kind of deathly.
And I will put help action on. Let's see here. On this guy here. As a bonus action.
Okay, I know where Heiyu's headed.
Very good, Lily. Alright, this Remoraz is kind of hungry, a bit nibbleish, and I think Ren's looking kind of meaty. He's got that meaty look about him, and tries to just gnaw on you a little bit, Ren. And it misses you. That's it. No 50 points of damage for these guys because they're only the little ones. Don't miss.
All right. He needs Tides of Chaos for advantage and shoot a chromatic orb lightning at this guy in front, going with the path to the grave.
Ooh.
Direct hit. That lightning bolt slams into it. 42 points of damage. And
Nice.
really devastates the Remoraz. It squeals and starts thrashing around. It's hurting.
We know where he's going next.
Yeah. I did say it, so I kind of got to do it. And next time I won't be a
No,
jerk.
you don't. You don't have to do it.
Everyone, let's ping this Remoraz.
Yeah,
Ping it
you don't have to do
together.
it. I'll ping it to you. I hate you all.
All right.
I hate you all. All of you. Hate.
Yeah. Help action there. Just, I won't do that again to you, Thon.
Hey, you gets DM inspiration,
That is some bullshit.
which he can only use for using the help action. Which doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Alright,
He already has DM's inspiration from last session. Like, fucking thing.
Remoraz
That's right.
is going to just lash at Roderick. It squeals and tries to bite him and misses. Lily.
I'm gonna come over here, and yeah, I'm gonna fire a lightning bolt.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Gonna name you Ray Den. Think you come again.
It's a good one.
Alright, the lightning
that's
bolt
right.
bursts from your hand and it hits this one first. The Remoraz slides out of the way and a few arcs zap it. It then passes through this one. It's a direct hit. It just slams it to the ground, catches it on fire, and then the third Remoraz also slides out of the way and just gets glanced by the lightning bolt. And then
Alright,
it just continues and slams into this cave wall and just melts down a little bit of ice.
And then I think we'll bonus action Blade Song. Because why not? And we'll have another, let's see. And that's everything. I clicked it, it's not ending my turn.
Patience.
Sometimes it breaks. Alright.
I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna throw my trident at this one.
Ouch.
Pains
Well, it's
me
got
to say
advantage.
this, but good thing you had advantage, Norin. That's a hit.
This will be an extra damage.
It was my idea, just so you know. I initiated that shit.
Extra 1 point.
Yeah, because
Alright.
of the gauntlets.
The the trident sticks into the tail of the Remoraz, and it just sort of a little bit of fire spills out onto the ground, but doesn't hurt Roderick or anything.
Alright, then I will that's 5. Run over here, and I'm gonna grab one of my javelins, and I'm actually just gonna stick it. I'm not gonna throw it. So
Crit.
Beautiful.
And it crits
And a
with
crit.
It crits it. It crits you back.
It crits you right back.
and this will be 1 less damage.
Okay. Alright.
Because I have all my javelins set up for.
So pretty much you get no bonus from the crit. But
Yeah.
you jam the javelin into its sort of neck area, Norin, and the your javelin just like superheats from the Remoraz's glowing beads and burns you for 12 fire damage. Red hot.
And then as my bonus action, I am going to. Oh, and I put my unwavering mark on that one.
Okay.
I like to think Norin learned something about himself today when he took that damage.
Second wind. Get some health back. And that's Norin's turn.
Ren.
Alright, we're gonna Reckless and Great Weapon Master this guy in front of me.
That's a hit. You hack it in two. As its long body starts to sort of spread out, you just catch it straight in the middle, and a bit of lava and blood spurts out from both ends of that wound, and it just jitters along the ground. And half of it falls down this hole, and the other half sort of snakes its way across the floor a little bit, like recoiling, and stops moving
Twitching.
over there.
I'll run and do the same thing to this guy.
That's a hit.
Oh wait, that's the wrong. It was Great Weapon. I'm so used to attacking with the other one.
It's okay.
Alright.
And you hit for 4 fire damage. You cut through the Remoraz's frill and into the side of its body, and it's hurt. It's close to death. You almost cut it in two.
That's it. I'll let Roderick finish it off.
Bonk it on the
He
head.
allows you.
Yeah. And so if I do manage to finish it off,
That hits it. Just hard enough for it to splash 4 points of damage onto you, but not hard enough to kill it.
yeah, figures. We'll go again. Oh, sorry, did click.
That is a miss.
It's 25.
25.
Oh yeah, I accidentally done
Oh,
it, so
yeah, I didn't see that. That second one hits it. You whack it in the head. It spurts out fire. 10 points of damage on you. And then it falls over and crashes into the ground. And then its glowing beads continue to just sort of sink it back into the icy floor, and it just digs its own grave a few feet under the ice here.
Well done, everyone.
So is the armor magical?
No,
yeah, Lily.
it's just plate
he
mail.
managed to,
It's just a suit of plate. It looked magical because the elemental was causing it to levitate and glow. But
So does Large Thomas go digging?
Throw some more firebolts at the treasure, at the coins anyway.
okay, there's a full. It's a good set of full plate though, and I mean it's worth 750 gold pieces if you sell it. It weighs 60 pounds.
Does he get larger proportionally?
He's back to normal size Thomas now.
I was just imagining a really fat Thomas.
Well, with the square cube law, he'd be super heavy anyway.
No,
Oh,
he
he's
just
short,
gets taller. He doesn't get any fatter. So he's like skeletally
Stretches him
thin.
out.
There's like Slender
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna be done
like
with
this. All right. Yeah, a few more fire bolts melts all the ice away from this treasure. There is gemstones, gold pieces, and one other item.
Let's check it out.
All right, there is 1,500 gold pieces. There are 3 500 GP gemstones. And they're all sapphires.
Yep.
Blue glowing sapphires. And there is a single potion intact. It's a potion of heroism. You can identify it by taking a sip.
Nice.
God, I love the concept of here's a strange liquid I found. I'm just gonna stick it in my mouth.
Yeah, just a little taste. You never know.
It's more like dip a finger in and check it that way.
Yeah, you just take a little sip. It's a blue potion. It bubbles and it steams as if it's boiling, so it looks very safe to drink. Right,
It's like tea.
who wants that? Take that potion of heroism.
Adventurers definitely make a lot of questionable choices.
The potion
mean,
gives you the effects of bless for an hour with no concentration.
So I give that one to Norin.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it.
Add that to your inventory.
Okay.
And the rest, I assume, is going in the party loot.
Yep.
Alright, quite a horde here as well. So you also find several bones in another corner as well. Just a big pile of humanoid bones. The Remoraz's past meals.
Do you think archaeologists go around resurrecting the ancient dead to ask them questions?
If they're level 17 archaeologists, they may. Level 17 cleric archaeologists.
What level of speed dead? I think that'd be more.
I'm sure
like
they could work out a patronage deal with a local church.
I'd like to check for any secret doors. I'm gonna start looking around, see if I can find anything hidden.
You made a perception check before, saying you didn't see anything.
What, there's something hidden down that hole in the ice?
Yeah, it's kind of peeking down through the ice. Is it clear or is it bright? Is it dark?
It's pretty clear. It's ice cold water, and you can just see down about 20 feet.
So I do have a question about the full plate. Norin's a big boy. Would he be able to wear it without any kind of...
Yeah, it'll fit you.
Okay. Just making sure.
Do you not have full plate?
No, I'm still wearing chainmail.
Put that shit on.
That's why I was asking if it would fit, because while they're digging around through the treasure, Norin's putting on the armor.
I'll help you.
Okay.
I'll give Lily time to cast the detect magic she wanted.
Yeah, there we go.
Alright.
Why, thank you, Thomas.
You guys, Norin just stands out with his arms stretched out, his legs stretched out. He's like Iron Man as you guys are slamming on these pieces of armor. And Lily, detect magic goes off. And the only new magic that you detect is just the magic coming off of that potion. Other than that, no more magic in this cave.
Okay.
And it just,
So I'm
it just
imagining
looks
him
like a
wearing this armor.
Ramaraz's lair. But as for the treasure, everybody make a history check.
Well, I'm gonna nail this one.
Who said that?
Rand.
Is the treasure made of stone?
At least I beat Ren.
It's the treasure stone.
Well, some of it is. There's the
So-
gems.
You're the
I'm
reason
imagining
that
that-
everyone knows they're sapphires, Roderick.
Yeah.
Is that armor like slightly too tight so you can see all the little fat parts sticking out in between it because it's like squeezing them?
It's kind of wicked, actually. It's got all these sort of. It looks pretty wicked.
Lily's obsessed with fat tonight.
Seems so.
All right, Than. So you suspect that this is just like the Ramaraz's lair. Obviously they've been probably periodically melting the ice build up and snatching some tribal warriors and eating them like you saw to survive. But obviously this treasure did not belong to the Ramarazes. You feel like this has been here for a very long time, and the way it was frozen in ice leads you to believe that it might have once belonged to a young white dragon a long time ago. White dragons, they cover their treasure in ice, as well as their food. And it is a substantial, like it's a pretty substantial hoard as well.
Can like cut off the heads of the Ramarazes to bring out and impress the.
Okay.
I think Rand already did that for us.
You gonna wear like a hat?
All right. You guys have what you want, so you exit the cave.
Sheathe my lit dagger so that no magic.
All of the tribal warriors are gathered around as you guys exit.
Lily's still concentrating on detect magic, so they kill us.
And Thomas is there with two Ramaraz heads, and he just comes out of the cave and holds them up over his head.
Are you not entertained?
Oh shit! Is he still twice the size?
Oh, that'd be so good.
They see him twice the size. Oh, he used magic, and 30 of them throw spears at him at once. No. They just start sort of speaking in Bothly, their language. And they just say this one word over and over and over again. Hoodly, 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 hoodly.
Well, Thomas, you just earned a nickname.
Just come up and offer a bow to our Quizatl friend and
It's gone when you return.
just thank the statue.
Oh. I wonder what would have happened if we had opened the flask up. That thing.
Alright, and now the tribal warriors seem somewhat encapsulated by you guys. And they will just sort of stare at you all, speaking in their own native language.
Oh. Say something like, stop drinking each other's blood or you'll suffer the same fate as worm blood.
Hoodly, hoodly, hoodly.
Let's see if any of the cultists are still alive.
They'll catch fantasy hepatitis.
All the noise created an avalanche.
Alright, they all gather around to the entrance of this great cave as you guys exit.
Fireball.
God.
It's a lot.
They gather in a
Hold up,
20-foot radius.
Perfect.
Always walk up to them, then go for the double.
Hold out my hand in blessing.
One of the barbarians follows you out.
You, Hoodley,
Yes.
That means brave spirit.
Ah.
You had slayed the beast that had been sleeping beneath the ice. You have broken the cyst and extracted the sweet juices.
Very sweet.
You have earned great respect among Wormblood tribe. And then he sniffs you.
Did you fart?
And then he nicks his hand with his axe. His bloody hand reaches out. Smears all that blood over your face, Thomas.
Hoodley. Now you are one of us, Great Worm. This means friendship.
Thank you for your gift.
You've already changed the name.
Where you go now, Hoodley?
Go to fight giants.
Where is that, Hoodley?
Far away, out of the mountain.
If you need us take you through mountain, we will. Hoodley.
Oh yeah. Help us get down to. The boat was right outside of Harshnag's.
Fell past.
Out of.
Great Canyon? Yes. We can. Take you.
Excellent.
Good job, Hoodley.
Slick, slick! Shallow sauce, he calls out. And a heap of the tribal warriors run off. Then they return a short while later with wooden sleds behind them.
Get on a sled and just say mush, mush.
You're gonna tell us?
Hoodley has spoken.
And yeah, they've just got some ropes. There are 4 tribal warriors pulling these sleds. And they'll take you down the mountain on sleds. As long as you don't mush them.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Or cast spells.
Alright, before you guys get on, you have to get your face smeared with blood. Each one of them hold out a bloodied hand. The leader of the sled.
Alright.
6 people can fit on one sled.
I'll get on a sled with less people. I know I'm big and heavy.
Alright, you guys pile on. And then the Great Worm Barbarian stands in front of the tribes. And he speaks in Bothly and points down this ravine. And then he says, "Mush!" And then they all take off. Mush.
Push us off the cliff.
Mush means please kindly take them to the ravine in Bothly.
Wow.
Great economy of words.
Yes. That's a lot of words packed into one.
They used a lot.
Alright, they navigate through these mountains of the spine of the world like second nature. They take these shortcuts that you couldn't have even imagined and they make quick time to get back down to Fell Pass. It's about 100 miles, a bit less actually, 90 miles or so, and it only takes them 3 days to take you guys there. So you guys can rest up again.
Thanks.
And because you're being transported on the sled, everyone's sort of huddled up, and you don't need to worry about any of the effects of exhaustion or the cold weather, especially because you've greatly lowered in elevation.
Skin to skin contact, of course.
Yeah.
The only way.
I'm just
Only way I
imagining Thorn has just got the guy in front of him. He's just got his arms all up inside the guy's shirt as he's holding on.
That's how you do it. That's how you survive in the cold.
Alright. The cultists are completely, like, they do whatever you say, so they're down for that. There's plenty of room under this cultist robe for two, he says. Alright, they stop and they forage for you guys a few times. They catch some elk, and there's an attack by orcs. You guys they don't even stop moving on the sled. You guys just cruise along the sled and shoot off some spells and whatnot. No, you don't shoot off some spells, but you, you fight off a small brigade of orcs. The barbarians draw axes, and the orcs get absolutely slaughtered. And then the barbarians cut up
No
the
one's
orcs.
just throwing spears and telling them to pick them up.
And they add the orcs to their rations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
About eating things that used to, reason.
Don't ask how the sausage is made.
There's that. Yeah.
Alright, and then, there's another group of orcs and orogs that come across you all. The ones that you'd encountered last time near the Fell Pass. And you told them a way to get out.
Yes.
And they tell you that they took your advice and it worked. They'd somehow had trouble navigating the Fell Pass for the longest time. And they say they'll reward you by not killing you.
Fair trade.
For guiding them. But you guys know it was probably the death of the hag that allowed them clear passage.
No need to get to the details.
Anyway, the Wormblood tribe, they drop you guys off at the Fell Pass, and then they make their way back through their scouting expedition, and you're here before the airship with the cultists.
Alrighty.
Excellent.
Well, we're here.
Find the cultists wherever they are.
They didn't make the journey. They're all dead.
So who remembers we needed the fire elemental for the engine and the air element, or the furnace and the air element?
Air elemental is in the sail area.
Well,
somewhere.
apparently they know all about what to do, so we need them
Of course we
to
do.
get this ship. There are experts.
We were guided by Cloth. He's all-knowing. Vastly superior in knowledge.
Wait, what's the dragon's name? Cloth? Or
Cloth.
Claw?
You'll refer to him as the Great Emperor Cloth.
So like
Emperor.
cloth, like my robe is made out of, or
Oh,
Cloth.
didn't realize. He's an emperor?
Yes. He's an emperor, a king,
Interesting.
a president, a prime minister, a sultan, any sort of leader. He's that, alright?
All the above. Gotcha.
Yes. Every form of political leadership. He owns that shit. Now. We'll be several days fixing up this contraption.
we'll get to work.
How can we assist?
Staying out of their way.
You can find us shelter.
Assist by supervising.
You can help as well.
My only tool proficiency is with a drum. I don't think I'd be too much help.
You can play some rhythmic drums to help us work.
Hey, well, I got a lute. I can play that along with you.
Alright, the cultists, the main thing you gotta worry about first is shelter, but Lily, you've got a tiny hut, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you guys can sleep in that. How many people does it fit?
9.
10? 9?
9.
Okay, well, there's not enough.
Couple
One of
people
them,
sleeping
we have to
outside
tell
the
them
hut.
that one of them is not going to make it.
2. They can take turns
choose.
to take standing guard.
They can stay inside the ship.
Yeah, it's like sleep in the ship.
Okay, yeah, there's some hammocks and whatnot that they set up in the ship.
Into a small dome.
Copyright.
Alright, so you guys spend the next 3 days here just working on the ship. A lot of the hull is hulled from great shards of ice that have punctured it when the ship crashed. They take off the old balloon and throw it away. And then they attach the new balloon to the top. They have not released the elementals yet. And now, 3 days later, the ship is pretty much whatever repairs that could be done have been done and preparations have been made. And they're slowly chipping away at the ice, and then they have got the ship in pretty good condition. It's pretty much fully repaired at this stage. It just needs the fire elemental and the air elemental, and then they give you guys a tour of it. It's been heavily modified, and they had to reuse a lot of the wood from the hull and shorten the ship down to repair the holes and whatnot. So it's kind of small, but here you go.
Pretty awesome.
Dragon cult airship.
Yep, they've painted on the side of the ship large letters in red
Hoodly?
paint, Dragon Cult Airship. Alright, so Delphine gives you guys a tour of the ship. Alright, what do you think? The balloon that Cloth gave you? Guess what it's made from?
Cloth.
Sheep.
Dragon hide, of course. The most powerful type of hide in existence.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
we
you
can't
really
hide.
why
Not
would
for
you
that.
costume like that?
It didn't help that dragon any.
Listen. Once we release the fire elemental into the furnace, the balloon will blow up. And I got a diagram for you guys. You're inside the ship at the moment. And they're actually really well organized when it comes to building this ship.
God, I would have guessed that their diagram, based on how they've been so far, would have just been a crayon stick figure drawing.
That's why you're so surprised.
Air elemental goes here with an arrow.
Alright, it may not look like this at the moment, but once the balloon fills up, the crow's nest, it'll be atop the balloon, like this. See? Crow's nest. Now there are ropes that'll be on the outside of the balloon. If you need to crawl up to the crow's nest, you'll be able to do so.
Shouldn't that be the cloth nest?
You would just need an athletics or an acrobatics check, whatever that means. The balloon is roped to the gondola. Here. See? Gondola. We fitted
Nice.
it with steel runners. That was my idea.
Good
Now,
thinking.
once we get her up and running, she'll go about 8 miles an hour while skying across skying across ice or snow. And Trout says, I think you mean skiing. Yes, skiing. And you realize he's just like reading from this
got, like,
piece
note
of
cards.
notes that like Cloth gave him. He's like pretty much reiterating it. Now, a strong headwind will reduce the ship's speed to about 4 miles an hour, while a strong tailwind will increase the speed to 12 miles mph. What's mph? It's miles per hour. Miles per hour, mph. We can then change altitude. There's a special thing we can do where we use air currents, and we can move in particular directions. Not that you'd understand that. There is a propeller after the gondola that will thrust the ship forward, and we can pivot it. And the hull is watertight, buoyant in water. That means it'll float in water. and the
You meant it was a male in water.
And the propeller can push it across water. So there you go, airship. And Trout whispers, you didn't mention anything about flying. Oh yeah, it can also fly. Yep, she'll hold about 1 ton of cargo. And you'll need at least 2 crew to operate this, alright? And then you see
I think we have you guys.
you see these other three
More than the
cultists.
minimum.
These other 3 cultists start sweating profusely. Why did you say that?
Hold on while we go get you red shirts. Hold on.
You said 1 ton of cargo. Does that include the people? Because that's not a whole lot, actually.
It's
quite
cargo
a bit.
people. Cargo isn't people.
My truck will almost do a 1 ton of payload.
Cargo isn't people.
Corpses count as cargo?
Anyway, if we don't have enough crew, then, well, the speed can't be controlled, and it'll move in a random direction, carried by the wind, unless it collides into something. And that means it won't move anymore. And, and he starts looking through all these different paperwork. Alright, so that's the rundown. Let me give you a tour now. And he points to, so there's just an upper deck and a lower deck. The upper deck is just open air with a small 4-foot high railing around the exterior, and then there's a small hold below. You just move out of the way. See this? This is the furnace. And in the middle of the upper deck, there's a 10-foot tall cylindrical bronze furnace. There's a narrow hatch in front of the furnace. It has a small grill. That's where we'll put the fire elemental. Bet you didn't know that.
I thought there was going to be furnace.
We do now.
And there's an iron wheel on the starboard side. Starboard side's and he's like got a diagram of a ship with port, starboard, stern, and bow. And he's like putting it upside down. And then he points to the starboard eventually.
Hot goes here.
Wait, did he just point aft to the stern and call it starboard?
Yeah, over there, the starboard, there's some sort of going to be a wheel. Where's the wheel, Trout? Trout just shakes his head. Anyway, that'll open and close the furnace. And yeah, let's go on to the harpoon gun. This is a harpoon gun.
Where's that located?
On the front of the ship.
You have to use nautical terms? That's the aft.
Isn't there an actual term for that?
It's the,
I mean, you guys are the
it's the
experts,
poop
so.
side.
You would know, of course.
It's the foreskin.
Forecast?
What's the likelihood any of us would have any nautical experience?
Norin has 0. I can tell you that right now.
Thomas watched enough TV.
Listen, alright, it can go in the water if you want it to. So this could be the bow. Anyway, That doesn't matter because this is a spring-loaded harpoon gun.
All right.
Is there
How
a
many people
harpoon?
does it take to shoot?
You take a look at it. It's fashioned with burnished bronze. It has iron fittings bolted to the forward upper deck. It has a swivel on it as well. 90-degree arc of fire, side to side, as well as up and down. And there is 500-foot coil of rope sitting next to it, and 10 steel-tipped harpoons. It fires harpoons instead of bolts, so it's similar to a ballista, but it's actually considered a ballista. So it takes 3 actions. 1 to load, 1 to aim, 1 to fire.
So you need 3 people manning it, basically.
Tying, and you can tie a rope to the harpoon if desired. That takes an action. And in addition to it dealing 3d10 piercing damage on a hit, it also impales the target. While impaled, the target can't take any action on its turn other than trying to free itself from the harpoon, which takes a DC 15 strength check. If the check succeeds, the target takes piercing damage as the harpoon is pulled free and they're no longer impaled. If harpoon is attached to the gun by a rope, a creature impaled on the harpoon can't move further away from the gun or increase its altitude until it frees itself. A creature within reach of the gun's winch can use an action to reel it in, pulling it 20 feet closer per turn. So if you come across something, another ship, who knows what, whatever you're attacking, whatever you come across, a whale,
a dolphin,
you can harpoon it and reel it in. Yep, a great white whale. And this is the other harpoon. It's like a giant crossbow. That's a ballista. Yes, a ballista. And it's mounted on an iron swivel on the aft castle. It also has a 90-degree arc of fire. It's just like the harpoon gun, except it fires bolts, and there are a dozen bolts that they've made. And it doesn't have the rope function, obviously. Alright, now we're going to go down to the deck below the upper deck. Alright, see this wooden door? He points to this wooden door. That's where the propeller hatch is. That's where you put the air elemental. So, there's a wooden door behind this furnace, and it is here. It pushes open to reveal stairs leading down. There are portholes on the landings that look out port and starboard, and the porthole windows are latched shut from the inside. Each porthole is wide enough for creatures to actually squeeze through, so you can see them all actually on this map here. So these are porthole windows. And at the foot of these stairs, there is this steel hatch bolted shut from the outside with 2 horizontal sliding iron levers in the adjacent walls. One lever is labeled thrust. The other one is direction. So see where it says thrust? That makes it like go forward. And see where it says direction? You'll never guess what that does.
Changes direction.
Does it? Yes, it does, Delphine. Of course it does. But that was easy to figure out. And behind the hatch, he cranks it open. There is a steel-walled compartment. That's where the air elemental goes. It'll power the aft propeller. If you move the thrust lever to the left, it opens the valve, and that allows the wind from the elemental to spin the propeller. If you move it to the right, and he moves it, when he says right, he moves it left, and when he says left, he moves it right, the propeller's going to stop turning. And moving the direction lever left or right causes the propeller to pivot in that direction. and because like of wind and stuff, it'll like move the ship a different direction. And then he just says, and these are our rooms. And there is some crew's quarters here. Each door to the cabin has a lock on it. And there's just a small room. There are 2 hammocks, a writing desk, a chair, a footlocker, and a porthole. And there's actually a small partition that divides the interior space in half, with a room on each side for one person's clothing and personal effects.
If this is the porthole, does that make this the aft hole?
So there's actually only got 8 living quarters here, and then the cultists have already got like 5 of them set up with all their stuff. Some of them got like dragon chest sets and playing cards and underwear like hanging on the door handle and shit. So
It's fine. They can be thrown overboard. Make room.
and this room here, and he pushes open the room to the back. And you're like wondering how they got all this stuff because they didn't have such large backpacks. But you suspect maybe one of them has a bag of holding because this room is packed to the ceiling with crates, rations, barrels of water, ale. One of them, there's like a barrel called Elven Wine and a barrel called Dwarven Ale. There's enough food here to feed 10 people for 100 days. That's 1,000 people for 1 day, or 10,000 people for 1/10 of a day.
For 2 hours.
That is some interesting facts.
And, you know, we got nets to prevent the containers from moving around. That was my idea.
Good job.
I don't think I snore that bad. I don't think Norn snores that bad. Why he would have to sleep in the cargo hold.
Alright,
Because that's where the ale is.
so I'll give you the blueprint for the airship with all of those details. And when you guys are ready, you can unleash the air elemental into where the thrusting air goes here, and unleash the fire elemental where it says hot goes here.
Well, we ready for this?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Wait, how fast does this thing fly again?
It's like 10
Oh my god, it would be so great if it turns out it's just faster to walk.
Do you want us to give you the whole tour again?
No.
From the top, please.
It's like accidentally pressing A for the owl in Legend of Zelda. It's like, no.
I'm still confused on which is the aft and
Just look for the
which
aft
is the
hole,
shaft.
and that's the side that the aft is on.
Alright, this is a handout with that blueprint. All the locations and whatnot. So, when you're ready, they place the iron flask up near the furnace and unleash the fire elemental. And a humanoid shape of swirling fire appears, and Delphine points at the furnace. My subordinate, go inside there and power our vessel. And the fire elemental obeys his command, and it goes in.
Do the same thing with the air elemental.
Alright, you unleash your air elemental, and the iron flask disintegrates in your hand upon releasing it.
Damn.
There's only a lesser one.
Well, once he gets in, I'll shut him in.
I mean, I doubt he thinks he was lesser.
Now he gets in, obeys your command, and then they're trapped inside those compartments. With that, the airship starts to churn. The gigantic balloon inflates. The propellers start thrusting, slash through the ice. And the airship takes up. It's alive! Delphine says.
Settle down.
Oh my god, it actually worked!
Wait, what?
Perfect.
Jesus.
Hey, what did we have circled right here at the clothing veil?
Oh no, that's for when we defeat all the giants and go to get our reward from Cloth, I would imagine.
Yeah, Cloth and Veil, because Cloth is such a famous dragon in Forgotten Realms, people know that this is Cloth and Veil, although you don't know exactly, like, people don't know where his lair is, but this is Cloth's territory, Cloth and Veil. You should avoid it at all costs. Alright, so you guys now have your airship.
Woohoo!
You don't hear that too often.
What, you got your airship? Yeah. We're officially Final Fantasy.
Oh god, the memories. Does this map wrap around?
No, it keeps going.
We can get to Baldur's Gate by going north.
Yeah, if you go north, you do not appear at the
this
bottom
again.
of the map.
So now we blow that seashell and just vanish from the ship.
Alright,
Leave it
with
behind
that,
like the
so-
horses.
so the
Can we
airship
get the cultists to blow it?
takes up to the air, and you hover up, passing up through the tremendous view of the spine of the world, all the different crags and peaks. You can see out for hundreds and hundreds of miles, the gigantic mountain of Kelvin's Cairn, all the rivets of the spine of the world, the Lurkwood to the south, a distant view of the Evermoors, and it's an astonishing view. So, the cultists will steer the airship and look after the airship for you guys. You guys do not understand how to actually use the airship. They seem to know how to drive it and steer it, but you guys don't understand that.
Can we learn, or is that not something?
Yeah, you
We're
can try and
capable of.
learn.
All right. Well, while we're on there, I'll try to help and learn as much as I can from just helping.
Delphine says, "Oh no! There's no need for that. That's what we're here for."
But if something should befall you, we need to know how to fly this.
What are you trying to say?
Somebody might put you to sleep with a magic spell.
Please teach us, is what I'm trying to say.
Alright, Than, make a persuasion check. He's very standoffish. And you feel like they're starting to, like, feel that, like, they don't have much of a purpose anymore if you... No, there's no need for this. And he just starts, like, doing all this random shit. He's, like, taking the wheel and spinning it and, like, goes over and he starts, like, pushing his finger on this wooden panel like he's pressing a button, but there's no buttons there. You don't understand. This is far too complicated for you.
I kill him and throw him overboard.
Alright, the ship then crashes. So,
Can you glean from watching him how to do it?
it would take several days. You'd have to watch him how they operate it, and then you'd need to make an intelligence check. But he doesn't seem so keen to...
Every time he does something, he like looks at you and then kind of turns to move his body so you can't see what he's doing.
I'm watching him like a hawk.
That's what I mean. Like every time he sees you watching him, he's like he sees you and then he kind of shuffles so that you
I'm
can't
gonna do everything in my power and whatnot to try to learn how to fly this ship, if need be.
Alright, you can make a stealth check to
next.
try and observe him stealthily.
Or if he gives you problems, let me know. I throw the lowest ranking one overboard for an intimidation check.
Shit!
Oh,
He's a
God.
cold-blooded motherfucker.
I'm just at a distance trying to learn. That's all.
Alright, because he's not
Just gonna
directly
try.
teaching you. When you do need to make the ability check, I'll let you know. It will be at disadvantage because you're observing from a distance and he's not actually tutoring you how to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they seem to be able to handle it pretty well. So they'll steer the ship as you direct. They'll help you defend it. Otherwise, we feel like they're not going to help you in any other way, though.
Actually, come to think of it, how many controls could there possibly be to this thing?
Up, down, left, right.
I'm imagining like a rudder, like a steering wheel attached to a rudder.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot more than that. Think about
Think about
elevation
it.
and
Showed us it's the levers that
wind
Yeah,
and the
it's-
thrust.
it's-
compensations.
It's fairly simple. That's why it only takes a couple of days. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, they sort of it takes a couple of them to operate the ship. It takes at least 2, as they said. So you can still learn and then teach someone else how to do it. But 2 of them stand watch, 2 of them steer the ship, and the other one's resting. And they do a bit of a rotating shift. All of them seem to know how to operate the ship. Delphine turns to you. I'm the captain. I'm the captain, alright? You call me Captain Delphine.
Aye, aye, Captain.
But you have to listen to us according to cloth, right?
Yes.
Call us each admiral.
How does this stop the ordering? Fix the ordering. Wait, are we stopping it or fixing it? Fixing it. We need to fix the ordering. He calls it ordering. We need to fix the ordering.
We will. We will.
Oh, we know one of the runes is we're in the sea of moving.
You should have some respect for us. You know, once we got our cult, we got a big pile of treasure, and we summoned Tiamat.
Where was this treasure at?
It was in the Well of Dragons.
And where is Tiamat?
She got banished and she killed the other leaders, and everyone else was also
But it
killed.
didn't go well.
Sounds like a bad time.
Yes. Well, we kind of like were just new recruits at the time, and so we didn't really get to the Well of Dragons, and anyway, we don't need to explain our personal lives to you. So, tell us where you would like to head, and we'll tell you how long that shall take.
To the ordering. At once.
Hecaton's court.
Isn't that the one
So-
where we know the thing?
Take us to this nearest town so we can just teleport where we need to go. Fuck this shit.
No. Hell
So
no.
again, the
I'm
ship
sitting looking at
travels 8 miles an hour, so you'll go
Extremely slow.
200 miles a day.
But at least a straight line.
Yeah, it goes constantly above.
Yeah,
everything.
it's non-stop, right? 24/7, so that's actually not bad.
So what? I'm looking at these quests. We got Frost Giants at Port Last.
We have quests?
Yeah.
So sorry,
All the circles on the map.
96 miles a day you guys go.
This is a
I
weird
thought we were
question.
just freelancing this shit.
If depends on the weather as well. If you got like good wind, you go quicker.
What's the closest side quest we got here? Dars's
Oh, no.
quest?
I was just looking at giant stuff.
Between Gilran and Dars.
Has anybody noticed how far to the east this map actually goes? Like, there's a lot of east.
What's the quest from the Citadel Felbar?
It's Roderick's Dwarven Heritage quest that he's neglected for the past 3 months.
Would he like to unneglect it now?
Yeah, let's go there for him since it's.
Let's just do that. Let's get that shit out of the way.
Well, let's take a moment to remember
Citadel
what we're supposed
Felbar?
to do there.
Yes.
Approximately 230 miles. They do have like a sextant as well on a map, or they use your map.
Kinky.
That's just a little over a day.
Takes approximately 2.5 days.
All right, get cracking then.
How many miles in a day you said?
8 times 24, right?
Alright, so
96.
going to check for weather each day you travel to see if you come into some bad weather or whatnot.
Which quest is this?
I was just trying to look that up.
I can't
So
find
what?
it. Citadel. Citadel.
Gelren's quest. It's labeled,
One
isn't
we
it?
got from, yeah,
Gelren
it's the one-
Foehammer?
Yeah, it's one we got from the guy in.
Oh, right.
As a reward for their efforts, Gelren writes the characters a letter of recommendation and suggests they present it to King Morin or Queen Tithmil should they find themselves in Citadel.
Perfect. Sounds like
Okay.
it.
Recommendation for what, though?
Yeah, for side quests, of course.
Yeah, I
Letter of
recommend you give these
recommendation.
people all your side quests. They are A+ when it comes to side quests.
We just
So,
get to use them as a reference.
Yeah, it means that you can have an audience with a king and queen.
And we get an achievement for having an audience with King and Queen.
Achievement unlocked.
The letter just looks like one of those feedbacks from eBay.
Alright, it's particularly cold as you take off on the airship on the first day. And the wind is, there's light wind. It's not really enough to affect the airship in any way. It doesn't slow it down or speed it up. And no precipitation. Alright, you guys just cruise along, just flying along the skies. The cultists take care of everything for you guys, so you just sit back and relax. And
No arrows, right?
what's that?
We just crossed the kingdom of many arrows.
No arrows.
We were high. We were too high.
I mean,
All
if
the
you're going
arrows.
to encounter arrows anywhere, they'd be in the air, right?
Yeah, you make sure you're 501 feet in the air. No, you actually are several thousand feet in the air when you're traveling.
Whoa.
AKA
So-
instant death.
Does anyone legitimately have a fear of
Instant.
heights?
TPK. Let's lower that shit down a little bit to like a 60-foot drop.
The airship cannot
What are you, like, buzzing the
at
tower?
low altitude. You need to be.
Yeah, we gotta
thousands
stay
of
low,
feet.
man. Gotta stay low. You gotta stay under the radar.
You're at least
Who's
3.
just going to buzz the tower?
Alright, you have to avoid the Nazis. So you're gonna fly low. Alright, they take it down and crash into the forest. No, I'm joking. No, you have to be at least a few thousand feet. Just you're not
Gotta skim
planning.
those treetops.
You're not planning to jump off or fall off. I assure you.
I find what I plan for often very rarely is what happens.
I'm gonna be sticking with Lily the entire trip. Because I know she can cast fly, so I'm just gonna stick on her like glue.
Okay, so as you guys are traveling, you have an encounter at the start of the second day.
This is not happening.
It is as you're flying along, there is a rock.
Oh god.
Jeez.
There is a
I tell them that it's not actually a rock.
It's a rock lobster.
Roderick identifies it as not an actual stone rock. That is going to be the
There's no
most
K
useful
in the word.
feature out of any class feature that anyone has. Roderick's always using that. Alright.
When all you have is a hammer.
So let me go over to this aerial map for you guys.
Oh man.
For those of you that can make friends with animals, now's the time
Yeah.
to use
Speak
that
to it a
shit,
bit.
not in the middle of fighting 30 orcs.
I have a good history of it.
Alright, you guys can move yourselves around. I'm just going to take off these labels for this map. So don't ask me why I'm telling you
Okay.
this. But
Off the
the gondola has 250 hit points and the balloon has 50 hit points.
Oh god.
Don't ask me.
If the gondola is reduced to 0 hit points, the ship's hull is destroyed, like completely destroyed. And yeah, that means like as in the entire hull is opened up and people are getting thrown out into the air and whatnot.
And pissed off elementals.
I'm with Lily.
Oh man.
If the balloon is reduced to 0 hit points, then the ship doesn't crash, but it slowly descends down to the ground, I think at a rate of like 50 feet per round until it
And there was like a ladder
hits the
thing to
ground.
get up to the crow's nest.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna climb up. Ren's gonna climb up to the crow's nest.
Okay.
Oh God.
You can make an
I
athletics
cast-
or an acrobatics check.
I cast guidance on him before he goes.
I love your plan.
So, just to clarify here, would we know that rocks aren't actually like beasts? They're considered monstrosities.
Oh.
You could make a
You probably
nature check. Alright, Ren, you get up onto the crow's nest. Maybe I'll make a crow's nest. I think I've got a token for that.
I feel like that's the
Can
kind
we
of
call it a rock
information.
nest?
Knowing whether a rock was a beast or not is the kind of information Lily would actively not know.
Yeah, it's a giant bird.
I feel Than would probably know that.
Do you think I would have read it in a book, like Stone Cunning, be like, oh, it's something about rocks. Rocks are not animals. Well, yeah, I kind of knew that, but
Alright. Yeah, no, you know that it's a monstrosity. I mean, pretty much, like, if it's an animal, it's a beast. If it's not an animal, it's a monstrosity. So if it's as a like a hawk with a 400-foot wingspan, it's probably a monstrosity. And at first, it just looks like a bird in the distance. And then as it gets closer, its unearthly size becomes terrifyingly clear. Its wingspan is about 200 feet, and it's coming straight for you guys.
200 feet.
I
Somebody with
told them,
good
don't worry, I
defense,
can
somebody with
I can charm this
decent-
animal.
Somebody with decent dex, maybe get on the harpoon.
So its
Yeah, how
wingspan
does-
draw on its wings.
Oh lord.
Or banish it.
What skill check is for the
There we go.
Well, yeah, the harpoon would require dex, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's its
Okay.
wingspan.
+2 on attack rolls with ranged weapons?
I'm surprised I actually
Oh
got
my
that
God.
200 feet right. I designed that. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Kind
You
of
nailed it.
Quite proud of that. Okay.
Impressive.
Now you gotta move it with a rock everywhere you go.
So don't ask me why I'm telling you this, but the gondola and balloon are separate targets. The gondola has 13 AC, 250 hit points, and a damage threshold of 10. That means if someone comes up with a longsword and starts hitting the gondola, it's not going to do anything unless they do over 10 points of damage.
Yeah,
It's like a damage reduction.
that would be a
And
good spell to have.
the balloon has 11 AC and 50 hit points. Both have immunity to poison and psychic damage, and both are objects. So again, yeah, balloon drops to 0 hit points as it bursts, and the ship loses the ability to fly. While the balloon or the gondola has at least 1 hit point, it can be repaired. Repairing 1 hit point of damage to either the balloon or the gondola requires 1 day and costs 20 gold pieces.
Quick, Norin, throw the flask of Heroes one.
Alright, so there's this gigantic bird. Yeah, you guys sort of spot it from a little bit of a distance, and the cultists just yell out, "Big bird! Big bird!"
Yeah, I'm gonna quaff the potion of heroism.
Alright, before you do that, you may hesitate, because there is something riding on the back of the rock.
Okay.
It's a storm giant.
Oh. Okay.
Oh!
Oh, our friend.
I feel like we're gonna wave at them right up until you get like a spear through your chest.
Polymorph him now.
Alright, so, yeah, you guys know that storm giants are
They're
good.
friendly.
They're good giants. They're
Yeah.
not. This is not a cloud giant. Not the same giant you'd met. These were the highest ranking giants. And so yeah, you spot this storm giant riding a rock, and they're coming straight for you guys. He rides on the back of this majestic beast with ease, and the storm giant himself just carries a gigantic trident in one hand.
Fire!
Hail!
I'm busy just loading this thing.
Small folk, he calls out. I do not come with bad intentions. I have come to parley. How do I get these damn wings to move?
Per the rules
You
of
have to
combat,
go
we
through the
have
box.
to accept parley.
I risk
It's the pirate
an
power.
avalanche and say, we welcome part.
We can't hear him. It's just constantly.
Do you weigh more than a ton?
Thomas, you use minor illusion and you look down and you see like a big avalanche on the spine of the world.
How much do you weigh?
Ask, do you weigh more than a ton?
That's rude.
Why? You're not a woman.
Fat shaming him.
Small folk, I'm coming in.
Be a-
Do not worry, I do not mean you harm.
Coming in hot.
Slow your vessel. I wish to speak.
Full stop.
The cultists, they all run below deck. Delphine and Trout, the ones that were steering the ship.
Now's the time.
Oh,
Have we learned
we
how to...
we forgot something below deck, and they run downstairs, frightened.
Do we know how to stop the ship now from moving?
They slow it down. Oh, this rock is going like way quicker than your airship anyway, so you can easily catch up. But they do slow it down a little bit. Small folk. And he speaks like very, very loud. He's huge as well, by the way. He's coming on 20 feet tall. And he's just got like a black beard filled with barnacles. And he wears a loincloth. He looks very nautical. Especially with his trident. And he's got this, he's just absolutely enormous. He's like almost 3 times bigger than the tallest hill giants that you've ever seen.
Reading.
You notice there are little fish motif all over his trident. Strange to see small folk up this high.
Our first time.
What are you doing, small folk? You must be something to have an airship.
Yes, we're on a side quest.
Quest to restore the ordning.
Ha ha! You amuse me, small folk. Speak truth. What are you
It's
doing?
true.
We head to Citadel Felbar, or whatever it's called. What's it called? Yeah,
Literally
Felbar.
called that.
Bar for
Ah.
an audience
Yeah.
with the king or queen.
We seek audience with the Dwarf King.
Never mind, small folk. You do not interest me. I am in the middle of an investigation.
Please
The
allow us to
Allfather-
help.
The Allfather has sent us on a quest to collect the rune.
He looks at you. Strange. And Thomas, make a persuasion check.
Oh, thank God,
He
Thomas.
raises one giant eyebrow.
Good job, Thomas.
Alan.
Oh, yeah.
Calls him
Alan
Alan.
the Allfather.
Good job, Thomas.
How do you know that name, small folk?
We recently came from his temple.
You?
And the mighty Harshnag.
Behold the shard of the ice rune. I show him the ice rune shard.
This is a strange coincidence, small folk. He just like eyes the rune. I feel like this is fate that we have met. However, I have no interest in involving you small folk. Whatever investigations you're planning, I ask you to cease and desist. This is giant business. Our king is missing, King Hecaton, and I'm looking for clues to his whereabouts.
can help.
Guess we just won't tell you what we know.
Cease and desist, small folk. This is not your business, and not your problem. Now excuse me. I must continue my search. Carry on with your side quest. And then he just turns. The rock screeches like an eagle. It almost shatters
fire.
the portholes. It's so loud, and then he just dives off to the side. He's gone. Disappears behind some cloud, just like that.
We did not even get his name.
He didn't really seem too interested in you guys.
Oh well.
Wow. That goes both ways, really. Fuck him.
No, I didn't want to talk to him either.
I don't want to talk to him.
Don, you almost
I wanted to test my new harpoon gun.
That's some bullshit. That's a 24 persuasion roll right there.
I feel like Thomas was kind enough to at least have the giant lend you his ear for a brief moment, but
Not
didn't
even
really
on the
seem
same
interested from
deck
the
as
get-go.
Don.
Good work,
And I
Quigley.
can feel his bitterness from
Alright. The cultists are just like peering through the porthole, and then when the giant leaves, they just happen to come back upstairs. Oh! We got what we were looking for down there. Oh! The giant's gone. Great.
Was it your spine?
Scared of giants, are we?
But isn't the seashell supposed to take us to the hecaton?
Yeah.
It's supposed to take us to his court, not necessarily him.
Oh, yeah. But we're not allowed to blow it yet.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
to.
we have to.
We have to be recognized by Annam the Allfather.
Yeah,
before
so
we
yeah,
can-
you've heard this a few times now. The king of the giants, King Hecatan. So
Tis me so.
storm giants, the highest ranking giants, and then the leader of all of that. He's apparently missing. So he's like the leader of all giants, pretty much. You could almost call him like the Storm King. We'll just call him the Storm King. He's missing his thunder.
Did the giant on the rock, did he tell us his name?
No. But the way he was dressed, he looked like royalty.
Alright. So if
You can tell by
I...
the special loincloth. He was
I could...
Yeah,
I could...
He had a
I
royal
could-
loincloth. Yeah.
I could...
he was
Now,
actually long enough to cover everything.
now that we've met him or seen him, I could send a message to him if need be. Via magical means. Or do I have to know his name?
I think you need to know his name.
And his email address.
What spell is it?
We have to be, just sending. This says, Oh, I just have to be familiar with the
Yeah.
creature.
Yeah, you didn't see him long enough to become familiar with him.
Darn it.
How much time would familiar require?
At least
Would touching be involved?
at least known him for like a minimum of 1 day. You know. Not just some dude you met on the street on the air.
No
He's not
physi-
just... That was
physical
special. I don't
contact.
think I'll ever forget him for the rest of my life, riding a rock.
Is any physical contact required?
It
have to exchange bodily fluids.
It's like a once in a lifetime.
it does sort of reinforce that idea that King Hecatan is missing, and it looks like the Storm Giants want to try and find him, fix this ordning too. Anyway, we continue on for another day of travel.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question for the Oracle next time we see him. Where's King Hecatan?
Well, see, the real trick is if you could find the villain of the campaign early, you can spend the rest of the campaign doing nothing but sending messages.
Yeah, while you're still level 3.
I always my whole I want to break the game. That's what I do.
As you guys travel the next day, it's a pretty normal temperature. The wind is still light, so it's light winds. And it's actually raining. It's really, really heavily raining. But the ship doesn't really have much trouble in rain. And However, it does start to turn to a bit of a storm before you've reached Citadel Felbar. It's like a wicked storm brewing up. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, strong winds. It actually does get pretty nasty. But that's where we'll wrap it up for tonight.
Cool beans.
Cool.
Survived encounters with dragons and storm giants, and
Yeah.
made barbarian friends.
Yeah, the dragon one
Got a flying ship.
surprisingly better than I expected.
This on that route.
Tom's got a new name.
Yeah.
Good session.
Thomas the Hoodlum.
Hoodly.
Hoodly.
You can add that to your list of titles, Thomas. Thomas the Pot Plant.
You already did.
Thomas the Pink Breath.
He's fast.
Thomas the Boogly.
Boogly or Hoodly?
Hoodly.
I've been Hoodly.
Yeah, it's Hoodly. Alright. We'll pick it up here next week with you guys coming into this storm. Quite close to Citadel Felbar. And Roderick can finally do his quest. This is your moment, Roderick.
Moment to shine.
We'll get there and just tell them about their stonework outside.
Finally, Roderick, you'll become a master of stonework. Alright, good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Nice.